7 o'clock in St. Louis, and you are listening to The Morning After, presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and on the TMA STL YouTube channel. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne. Little Jackie Papers is on the ones and twos. And, Doug, it's a beautiful day in St. Louis. Let's play two.
Okay, yeah. Redbirds are playing two today. Need to get these. Need to get both of these. You have to beat up on the
you want to win the series, do you, Doug?
I don't care about the series.
You want to sweep the series?
No, winning the series wouldn't be good enough if it's just 2 out of 3. They need to win all 3 of these.
Martin, you remember producer Joe because of his landing strip, right?
I never saw it, yes. I don't.
You never saw the landing strip?
Just declare I don't know him from that, but I do remember Joe. Yes,
Sure.
I love Joe. We're very tight. We had an alliance, Tim.
Yeah, there was an alliance. And he yesterday, no message, just sends me a screenshot from the St. Louis Business Journal, Doug, proving once again that this show not only mobilizes audiences, this show mobilizes businesses. From the St. Louis Business Journal, at Prod Joe, sending me at 4:19 p.m., a southern chicken chain is eyeing the Gateway City for a major expansion with ambitious plans aimed at reshaping the local fast food landscape. I click on the producer Joe link, takes me to the St. Louis Business Journal website, and it turns out, you know who's expanding to St. Louis, Little Jackie Papers?
I got to guess.
The Big Z?
The Big Z.
Zaxby's?
We were just talking about it.
Yeah. We move markets?
What have they been waiting for?
Seriously?
Are we like 10 years behind?
It's
Got
a
the
pretty...
wet blanket here. We're getting Zaxby's, and you're mad it didn't happen before.
What's with the timing, though?
Because we were talking about it.
Oh.
It's a pretty southern thing, too. Like, it's not like a nation.
Now we're truly an SEC town.
That's right. This was the final step.
And this is mostly fried chicken strips and that, like Raisin Cane?
Yeah, but with crinkle cuts and different sauces.
Yeah, chicken wings, too. Healthy.
You ever had fixins?
No. I wouldn't even know what they are.
When I hear you say that, I feel like you're wearing an apron.
How about that? 20 new Zaxby's.
20 of them.
Wow.
How about that? We were talking about it yesterday or 2 days ago. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
2 days ago was a big Friday.
Yeah. I thought that they were, like, kind of closing a lot down, but...
That's what we were talking about. Atlanta-based chicken restaurant chain Zaxby's is pursuing expansion in St. Louis with plans for as many as 20 stores in the region, excuse me. And it was founded in part by a St.
Louisan.
St. Louisan. And so he wants to bring it to St. Louis. And he is now going to bring up to 20 Zaxby's to St. Louis. Just after we were talking about it, Doug.
How about we do this? We pool our money and we get ourselves our own TMA franchise, Zaxby.
Oh,
Zaxby,
like a
brought to you
collab?
by TMA.
Yeah.
We'll all be co-owners of a Zaxby
Do the show from the drive-thru every morning.
That's exactly right.
Wearing headsets.
Sure.
I kind of like this idea.
Yeah. All the chicken the man can eat.
And fixins.
You know what their logo is, right?
Rooster?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Boy,
a
the
lot of
trademark
synergy. A lot of synergy. here.
Energy. I wonder if at the market level, the marketing level, they were talking and they said, we got to get into more markets. Maybe where they're a little, I don't know, fat. And then they came up with us, Doug. So now I'm going to be
That
the
would
white
make
blanket,
sense.
Doug. Do you think they picked us because we're not healthy?
I don't know, but they picked Columbia, Missouri over us years ago. I don't understand why a thriving fast food wouldn't have been in this market a long time ago. Nice that they're here now.
They could open 15 to 20 stores here. It's identified 9, quote, priority trade areas in the region for its initial stores. Doug, 9 priority areas.
Okay. Are we going to get one of those?
I don't understand your question.
Well, when we get our franchise.
Oh, yeah. Of course we would. To have us involved in it?
Yeah. Maybe one right here by the station.
Yeah. It's leverage season around here.
Yeah. Maybe one connected to the station so we could just get some chicken tenders and fixins.
I don't
I think
Commercial
I'd like
break.
to put an amend on, perhaps a little more room here for the fixins.
That's our board meeting.
Well, I hope it
Powers.
works. I'm still a little scarred by the Tim Hortons exit. Man, I was all excited. 'cause I
That was
used
a big thing, and then it was a quiet exit. What happened?
I believe the franchisee here in town got sideways with the corporate mothership. I believe. That's my
Was that
understanding.
Maplewood?
Well, there was one in Maplewood. There was one in Frontenac inside a bank.
The Frontenac one was very
Inside-
interesting.
yeah.
I kind of thought
Bank?
there was an understanding in Jackie Paper's municipalities that there won't be any fast food.
Only in banks.
It's kind of like a casino can't happen unless there's water nearby.
Exactly right.
I think they snuck that one in, and all of a sudden you're in the bank. Is that a
It was
donut shop?
it was a small.
It was a small
logo.
counter.
Okay, yeah.
And but I enjoyed those Timbits, which I thought would have been a great sponsorship element for Tim.
Absolutely.
So we had some Timbits, and it just kind of went away. There was much fanfare, and I believe it was written about that the guy who bought the local rights was unhappy with corporate, and thus ended our shot at Timbits.
Yeah, this is a donut drive-in program through and through, at least coming from me anyway. 2005 to 2012, Zaxby's was peak chicken. The decline over the past 10 years has been real. Despite the fact a portion of Zaxby's revenue feeds UGA's NIL, the decline cannot be ignored. That's from Al in Dadeville, and he loves Georgia.
I like peak chicken. That's fun. Like
Can you get
chicken's
just,
prime.
Can you get just a regular piece of chicken there?
I'm sure you can get grilled chicken.
Can
Any
you?
place that's serving fried chicken will also serve grilled
Well, I
chicken.
hope.
I don't know if Nathan from the east side of Alton is on the board. I would imagine he signed an NDA, so he might have to retain counsel with this text. But he says, priority area is definitely going to be Festus and Granite City. So he says those two areas will be considered priority areas by
Okay.
Zaxby's.
So they're in. All right.
Maybe we could have Pestis handle one of the locations for us.
Yeah.
And you think that might be insider trading right there? That he knows a little too much.
Yeah, that might be a
It
problem.
tastes like tongue.
Tastes like tongue? Is that what he said?
Yes.
Have you ever had tongue?
Yeah.
Clip that off.
Cow tongue?
And
Nah, not for me.
Now that we are possibly getting a Zaxby's as an NBA team next. That's from Taint Slap.
Ooh, you have to think. Brick by brick.
Well, we talked about it, and therefore it'll happen.
It's true.
Was it Jared that called in to talk about the NBA?
He did.
Great
Now,
call.
Wait for the Business Journal tomorrow. NBA's on the way.
would you rather have Zaxby's or the NBA?
Whew.
There's your poll question.
Tweet it out.
I'd be
Unfortunately,
curious to see the results.
Yeah, I think Zaxby's might do pretty well.
I hate to say it. I'm seeing a lot of fajitas. I'm on the Zaxby's menu.
Fajitas?
Ooh, give me them chicken strips and crinkle cuts,
There is
please.
a sauce box.
Yeah, a lot of different sauces, Doug.
And then they have a Zappetizer for two.
That's right. And salads.
Trio.
Do you think maybe they've noticed the success of Chick-fil-A in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Thinking we got to get in on some of that?
I think just chicken in general. It's a competitive market.
You don't see a lot of burger places opening. You do see a lot of chickadee places opening, Doug.
Yeah. Burger, I think for burger places, it's like the next step up above fast food, like more in the Shake Shack category. But for like fast food, chicken.
The breading to chicken ratio used to be on point, good yield on the crinkle cuts, and they used to have the perfect amount of seasonings. Toast looked like it was toasted with love. It's not the case anymore, Doug. That's from Al in Dadeville, and he loves Georgia.
What do you mean it's not the case anymore?
Al in Dadeville, you'll have to call into the Callier and Thompson phone
He
lines.
may need to call in.
974
We're workshopping this.
0101. Yeah, I was all excited about it when Prod Joe, another Georgia guy, sent me the Zaxby's information. Once again, Martin, because on this program we talk about it and then it happens. That's what happens. Businesses are listening, doctors are listening, lawyers are listening. All of the high-profile, high disposable income folks in the area, they listen to this show, and this show moves markets. Now you know Zaxby's is listening, and they got great fixes.
Stephen Matz is the one who came on the show and said, well, last time I was here, guys, I think we won the next 9. I'm like, wow.
Yep.
Post-show bump for Matz.
Nope. Yep. See, Doug?
Okay, well, there's something to all this. I guess I've been to that Zaxby's in Columbia one time, and that was it. And the next time I went, nope, wasn't there.
The reason for all the chicken and not burger stores opening is because the cost to raise and produce chicken's about half what beef is. Get ready. There's going to be chicken everywhere. That's from Albert Edison.
I've heard that before. I got no problem with that. I love chicken.
Yeah, it's a little better for you, too.
Like I could easily eat that my protein for every meal of the day.
I could, too.
Yeah. No
Congrats on the Zaxby's, boys, over in St. Louis. Kansas City's hosting World Cup games this time next year. That's from Mr. Mudjack Mike. Doug,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Eat a subpar chicken, probably.
We like food.
Yeah. One
This
World
game-
Cup game. We
yeah,
have
this
Zaxby's
game-
every day of the week.
Yeah,
Jackie,
2.5
you're
hours,
flying
the
to-
game's over.
You're flying to Boston. She's
Don't get emotional.
You're going to be gone? When you land at
Yeah.
Logan International, the Boston Airport, just swing by the bar there and grab a menu and just see if they have St. Louis barbecue on there. Because then you can say, I'm sorry, what exactly does that mean? Even though I'm from there.
Right.
Only seen in airports.
Is there a style that's St. Louis barbecue?
It's ribs. There's St. Louis style ribs.
Well, and
I think it's
It's
less
the sauce.
I think it's actually like just the meat. I think it's like instead of baby back, it's more St. Louis style. I don't know.
Nice. Good answer.
Chairman, you're a barbecue guy. You probably know.
I blocked that part of my life out.
All right.
Oh, did you really?
Zaxby's main clientele are male retiree pickleball players who have no hair on their ankles from years of wearing dress socks. Ooh la la, me likey. Doug, that's from the Dogtown Astor
Oh,
van.
no, I got that going myself.
St. Louis ribs and baby back ribs are both cuts of pork ribs, but they differ in size, shape, and meatiness. St. Louis ribs are larger and flatter, but have more meat between the bones. Or baby backs are smaller, curved, and leaner.
There you go.
So it's the cut of rib itself, not anything preparation
Well,
wise.
I think I like the sound of the St. Louis ribs better.
Yeah.
No.
Well, now I'm feeling pretty good about our town.
Yeah.
Boy, we got some good ribs. I rarely eat them. It's a lot of work, and it winds up the sauce gets all over you. And
Like working, preparing and then
just
cooking.
eating it, ripping it apart, and it's messy, and it's kind of hard to eat.
Matt Poling, Tim Hortons corporate killed those nice local owners. And by the way, if you text me, I just read it out loud. So if
if you want it off the record.
So if anybody just texts me and says, "Oh, I think I'm
Poland
going to,"
texts you more than he texts me now.
well, we got a lot of soccer conversations of late, Tim.
Is that right?
We've got a lot of.
I'm fine with not being in that.
A lot of well, the texts are not soccer related, but our reason for business has been soccer related.
Bundesliga, second Bundesliga.
Is this a sports show or a cooking show? That's from Dave, and he is in O'Fallon, Missouri.
We're cooking up some
fair
sports
question.
hot takes.
Yeah.
This is what happens when the squad gets rained out.
No, this is what happens for the last
okay.
2 decades. But I will say this, Sports Center had a big lead this morning. What do you think the lead was? And if you saw it, you cannot participate.
I didn't see it. I'd say the Lakers up for sale.
No.
College World Series?
Yes.
Which airs on
ESPN.
ESPN.
I do have to say, and I don't know what percentage of the audience is even aware of this. What do you think would be the percentage of the audience, Jackson? This is specifically for you since you're heading to Logan International.
That is aware of the College World Series?
I'm sure they do, but I'm talking about the game and the why it was the lead. Well, it was the why is because they had nothing else. But
Did they say that? Good evening, it's
those of us
Sports
in the
Center.
industry know exactly what it means.
Good evening, it's Sports
No
Center.
NBA Finals, no Stanley Cup, no Caitlin Clark. They're not going to lead with baseball unless Shohei Ohtani does something incredible or Aaron Judge does something incredible. So then it goes to College World Series. But I do have to say this game was of note.
Yeah, 25%.
I'm going to take the under on that. What do you think, Doug? You're not familiar with the reasoning, right? From the game?
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
Because it is, it was like heartbreaking.
Yeah. Come from behind in the ninth, right?
LSU is playing Arkansas. If Arkansas loses, they're done. If LSU loses, they got to play another game, double elimination. And Coastal Carolina and their 26-game winning streak awaits after they defeated Louisville. Do you say Louisville? Louisville?
I say Louisville. I don't say Louisville.
Yankee.
No.
And Arkansas has 2 outs to go to advance and go to the elimination game against LSU. And ground ball to short with a runner on first. Taylor made for the old 6-4-3 twin killing. Takers, Evers to chance.
Pitcher's best friend.
And I guess it was first and second. I apologize. And for whatever reason, and it's still not really known, the shortstop decides to throw it to third base. Lovely.
Okay.
But that then substantially reduced the probability of executing the double play, so much so that the third baseman, upon receiving the ball for the runner that meant nothing in a 2-run game, doesn't even throw it across the diamond for the double play. So he could have thrown to second base and completed the twin killing to end the game. For whatever reason, he didn't. So now there are 2 outs, and LSU's hitter hits it out to left field, and I gather that the left fielder slipped, or he just misjudged it terribly. He's falling to the ground to catch it, and it hits off his shoulder It ricochets to the point that all of the runners can score, and now we have a tie game, and it goes to extra innings, and in extra innings, LSU wins it. And as you can imagine, the player for Arkansas was despondent about his misplay in left field. And it was brutal. I guess here in Missouri, if you went to the University of Missouri, I suppose you're supposed to hate Arkansas. I don't know. I don't follow all of these things.
That's the border battle?
Right.
Battle line border?
Yeah.
I still haven't figured this out yet. Battle line.
But just looking at it through the lens of, there's a kid who's ready to catch the final out, and he slips and he falls. It hits off his shoulder, and it ricochets off the wall, and then they're able to tie the game. Boom. An absolutely devastating mishap.
Yeah. He'll live with that the rest of his life.
Yes,
poor
sir.
guy.
Here is the call. Well, this is the call, I guess, of the walk-off, or this is the call of the air?
Walk-off.
Hernandez, you can see him there in the foreground. He is the winning run. He does get one to hit. It's off the glove of the second baseman, and here comes Hernandez. LSU is on to the finals. They pitched to Jones, and it bounced off the glove of Cam Kozel, and the Tigers are going back to the finals.
There's a base snack, but that was not the metal ping. It was the next hitter. It wasn't extra.
When he said it bounced off of the glove, the guy leaped as high as he could, and it
Correct.
just hit the top of his glove. It's not like he botched the play.
Right. The play that was botched, or it was just an unfortunate slip, I do not know, was the previous play.
Yeah. It looked like he was running in to make a catch of it, kind of a low-line drive that would have hit him about knee level. And he probably makes the catch 98 times out of 100, but that time he didn't.
Tim, was the left fielder wearing jeans? That's from Kurt's former coworker, Doug. Usually the
See that
denim you would see
sometimes?
would be in right field, maybe around 6, 7 years old.
I remember at Kirkwood High School baseball tryouts, there was always a couple of fellas in blue jeans trying out, and you figure, well, probably not.
That's the Dazed and Confused era, where Randall Pink would wear jeans quarterbacking his team. Is that Jeremy London? He
I
had
don't know who it is.
Jason.
Jason London?
Yeah, pretty sure it's Jason London.
But then there was a Jeremy London, too. And they were twin boys. And then little Timmy Lincecum was the star.
London Town. Randy. Now I'm looking up Randy London. Who the hell is that? Jason London. Jason London. Yeah, Jason London for sure. Randy Pink Floyd. Now, you said Jeremy London?
Yes.
Yep, there's also a Jeremy London. He was an American actor in Mallrats
Oh, he was in Mallrats. That's right.
and Party of Five.
That sounds like a classy picture. Mall rats.
I think, is that a Kevin
Catherine
Smith?
Hepburn in that one?
Kevin Smith? Yeah.
Kevin Smith vehicle, along with Clerks and Chasing Amy.
Yeah.
Tim, that ball hit to left field, was off the bat at over 100 miles an hour. It was a dipping, pulled line drive. The left fielder got caught not making a decision quick enough. Brain and body got confused, and he had his glove in a poor position, falling, and couldn't get it up in the line drive level to catch it. There you go. There's a breakdown for you, Doug, from the 314. It's brutal. Ooh. Yeah, because as you said, 50 years from now.
He'll still remember it. Yeah. And it's on national TV to boot.
Not much else going on that night.
Yeah, it was not an easy play, but it's one that you usually make.
If it happens with the NBA Finals, it's buried, right?
Oh,
on
yeah.
ESPN.
Big
I'm just
time.
thinking they do their breakdown, their postgame, their
Big time.
sideline, their interviews.
Yes, you're right.
Instead, it's the lead story.
On a night where the Stanley
Oh,
Cup final ends
right.
the night before and the NBA Finals, another couple days off in between. They're never going to lead with baseball, as I said, unless Judge or Ohtani do something. And so it is the lead. And Scott Van Pelt spent a good amount of time with it following the game. So it's brutal. So, Doug, your College World Series begins on Saturday, and it's LSU and the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina
I'm for the Chanticleers.
in their 26-game winning streak.
Yeah. I'd like to see the smaller school win. School that's never done it before.
Is there any game you're not over?
Coastal Carolina has won an
Yeah.
NCAA championship.
Almost positive. Coastal Carolina College World Series, I want to say a couple of years ago. Well, if I'm wrong here.
Oh, boy.
2016,
They won?
I believe so.
All right. Big W. Yes, College World Series champions 2016.
Really?
There you go.
Remember that.
And of course, they accepted a young Jackson Burkett in the same year to go to school there.
Not a coincidence, Martin.
Yep.
Think about it.
Yep.
Why didn't you go?
I preferred Florida Gulf Coast,
And you were majoring in golf?
essentially. Yeah.
Well, were you yes or no?
PGA golf management.
There you go, Doug.
Did you go to Florida Gulf Coast?
For my freshman year.
Wow, way to know the alliance.
I did not know that.
Yeah, my freshman
Next
year.
thing you're going to tell me that you don't really have a purple Mini Cooper?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The things I do and don't know about you.
But you didn't
Magenta.
like it after 1 year.
I did like it. It was time to make a change. It was better for me in my future.
Flunked
Look at me
out?
now, baby. Look
Flunked
at me now.
out, Tim? Is that a flunked
Yeah,
out
no,
read?
flunked out.
There's some information we're not getting.
What do you mean? I wanted to transfer. I wanted to stop doing the golf program, the golf management program, so there was no point in going to an out-of-state school that was much more expensive, so I transferred in.
What do you want to do with that golf management deal?
It'd be a pro, PGA pro.
Is that right?
Yeah. When you graduate a Class A member of the PGA.
And
PGA
run
pro.
a course somewhere.
Yeah,
Country
teaching
club.
pro. Yeah.
Did
That'd be a
Lob
pretty
City?
fun life.
Yeah, give or
Did
take.
it have to do with Lob City?
Dunk City. Lob City was
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
Clippers.
Dunk City.
Yeah.
Thought maybe that attracted you to their school.
It was certainly put them on the map.
PGA Golf Management to local radio. Nice career trajectory. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko.
Here it comes.
And Doug, he is not happy with Jackson's decision making.
Okay.
I would think that'd be a really nice career to be in right about now with the golf explosion all over the country.
Golf in 2016 was not what it was in 2025.
No,
Yeah, but you were
I said
buying
no.
low.
Yeah, but
You'd be running Augusta
I
National.
know
at this
now
point.
that I would have been buying low. I wouldn't.
He
I
would
know
be
then.
Chairman Ridley. He'd be
He would
Chairman
be.
Burkett.
He absolutely would be with that degree in his hip pocket.
Our values align. No, I'm very happy with the move I made.
All right. So you went to Mizzou after that.
Fight Tiger.
Yeah,
And you get to see that Kentucky game you always talk about.
2018. That's right.
Yeah.
Did you move
Shea
because...
Gilgeous-Alexander was on that Kentucky team.
How about that?
Yeah.
And when you went to Como, was there a Zaxby's? And did that
Yes.
have any...
There was also a
play
Zaxby's
role?
in Fort Myers.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, closer to campus, too.
And did that factor into the possibility of staying at Florida Gulf Coast University?
No, it would have been more so that place I took Doug in Jupiter that first day, Pollo Tropical.
Oh,
that was my choice.
God, it was awful.
I thought I was so confused by that.
It was good.
Knowing all of the quality of restaurants and the handful of days we were going to have there, and Jackson's target was El Pollo Tropical.
Fast food, it was like the fast food place in Breaking Bad.
No, Los Pollos Hermanos.
And you had a delicious treat, though. So
It
Jackson,
was just dry, almost choked to death. Broke the fork trying to cut something.
Oh, Doug stabbed at the chicken and it broke. He was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I love the plantains." Didn't order plantains. They were out, in fairness.
if my PGA pro could only hit his 8-iron 150 yards, I would be suggesting we find a new one. That's from the Prince of Glendale.
I hit it further back then, which is a damn shame.
Well, as you get to 27 years old, you start to hit the ball much shorter.
You start to rot.
He'd be taking tee times at Berry Hill had he stayed. Good move, Jackson. So there's a counter to the Warson Woods Wackos
That's
text.
a shot. That was a shot.
Oh, there's some fantastic jobs in the golf business.
Not a question about it, man. Not a question about it.
So do you regret it? Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. Chairman of the board.
Nope. No regrets. None at all. And I don't regret the 1 year I went down there either.
It was right there on the ocean, wasn't it? Right there on the beach, close to it.
Close enough, yeah.
You gave that up for Stevens Lake in Columbia, Missouri?
That's right. Black and gold, little anthracite.
All right.
So that'll do.
Okay.
No, I don't regret it at all.
How often did you get home that year? Because it's a distance.
Thanksgiving, the winter holiday break, and then I think spring break that year. So the first year,
Okay.
yeah.
Smart move. Golf courses are closing left and right around the country.
This was I transferred in 2017. So take yourself back.
I think this is a text from a decade ago.
Yeah, might as well be.
You're welcome to text in 314-399-9646. Air Comfort Service, sponsor of the text inbox. You're also welcome to call in the Collier and Thompson phone lines. Then you can watch the program at youtube.com/TMASTL. And that's the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. And talk it over with DJ Patty Cakes. That's called Taxes Doug, John Scores, Uncle Cucker, Roscoe P. Coltrane, Jake and St. Genevieve, and, of course, MD 2020. They're all in there, Doug, and they all want to talk with you.
Are they?
So they're waiting to talk it over. Alan Dadeville, who was supposed to call in, says, Martin, would you be surprised to learn the gentleman that Jackson replaced wore his hat offensively and had an MBA 590 the had scared him right out of radio into work in the sanitation department in the city of St. Louis. That's from Alan Daneville.
590 the had. Who did you replace?
His name was Gangster Pete. He did have an MBA. So if you want to chastise Jackson for his education choices, it's a good thing that Gangster Pete is not here. And Gangster Pete, as Doug will note, got emotional during some of
He used to cry during blues interviews.
While he was conducting them, or while you guys
I
were...
would be conducting them, and then he would get emotional.
So you really like the note?
It was after they won it all.
Right.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah.
Then
Thank you.
Totally understandable.
Thank you.
A little weird, but it's totally understandable.
But, we went down to Enterprise Center, and generous executive Mike Caruso set me up with a one-on-one for my podcast with Doug Armstrong, and then one with Craig Berube, and he was emotional during that. But preceding it, we just had Cam Jansen and Reed Lowe come in studio and BS, and he got emotional during that. Mm-hmm. And I don't think those two guys have ever seen anybody get emotional while they talk, perhaps ever, unless it was on the receiving end of some
fist.
Correct. Fun fact, Mizzou and Florida Gulf Coast University have the same number of national championships. That's from the 573.
Good one.
This Papers isn't in the mood for. He's going to Martha's Vineyard, and that's his focus. We're not going to hear from Papers until Tuesday, Doug. Enjoy your time off, Jackie Papers. Enjoy your time off.
It'll be fun.
Spending time with sweet, sweet Kai. He says his nuptials.
Yep. Holy matrimony. It'll be great.
In the air during the NBA Finals, pal.
Yeah, that's okay. As long as the Wi-Fi works, I'll be able to watch. I've watched sporting events on the planes before. It's actually kind of nice. Really passes the time. Mm-hmm. As long as the Wi-Fi works, that sometimes.
Think the Pacers can hold serve there, buddy?
Man, I don't know. It depends if Halliburton is. If he's hobbled, that's worse than him just being out. He has to be dynamic, and so we'll see.
I know you're an emotional guy. Are you prepared to be yelled at when you arrive back at Lambert? Wait on your ride home?
Yeah. No.
Because you will be berated.
It's going to be brutal.
Because, Doug, you can't park there, and you can't park there, and you can't stop there, and then you can't stop over there.
It feels like the first day at boot camp where a sergeant will come on and just read you the riot act. And if you're not ready for it, it can break a man.
I'll see if Boston is similar. I'll see what their policy is.
I can give you a little foreshadowing. It won't be.
Okay.
But when you have an airport as busy hour as ours, Doug, you got to move the people along.
That's the way to bring them back, is to just yell at them and break them.
Doug, will you slow dance with me? That's from Cucky the Dwarf in the Michelob Ultra
I
YouTube
won't.
chat.
I will not.
It was an offer. People, proposition people. I want to make sure the word is out. You can get involved on the program so many different ways to do so, like emailing him the morning after at InsideSTL.com for the design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. Doug, sweet mother of mercy. We went right from spring to summer in a matter of 24 hours. Your high tomorrow, 92. Your high Saturday, 96. Your high Sunday, 96. Your high Monday, 96. Your high Tuesday, 94. Whoo, cats and dogs.
Oh, no.
Summer is here. Yeah. No precipitation in the forecast, but nothing but highs in the 90s starting tomorrow. And it is going to be intense. If you run into any issues with your air conditioning, all you need to do is go to designairservice.com and work with Seth Goldcamp and his team, the longest-running sponsor on TMA, the sponsor of our email of the day. Martin's a client, Doug's a client, I'm a client. I've known Seth now for more than 10 years. Think the world of him and the business and the way they conduct it with no upselling. They're going to fix it. They're going to take care of it, and that'll wrap it up. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. Email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. We had Radio Wars yesterday with a team's broadcaster chastising the team for its slump. That team continued in the slump last night. We will have the broadcaster's call coming up for you. This is TMA 101 ESPN. Let's get you fired up for a little twin bill on the south side.
Very much so. I really wasn't fired up. Didn't think much about it until now when I heard that song.
I think the attendance is going to be for game one.
Strong. I feel like I have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders of the Tam Avenue Capital Partners, especially coming off the cash calls from this past weekend, to bet the under on both games and feel like at absolute worst we break even. But one of them's coming in at a 1-0, 2-1 kind of deal. That's what I feel like. But now the board of the Tam Avenue Capital Partners has stripped my rights to make plays without 75% approval.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They've stepped in.
And I feel like it might be like a Kendall Royce situation here, Jackson, at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Doug, there's just I can't imagine we're going to see a lot of offense in one of the games, and it'll somehow be brisk. That's my read. Maybe I'll be wrong.
Well, the White Sox have some lousy pitching, so there's a chance the Cardinals can't get themselves out.
Sean Burke. Cardinals have never faced him. Game one. Does that concern you? I said that about Shane Smith the other night. That didn't matter. Sean Burke, they've never faced.
Eric Fetty will oppose him. The total for that game, 8.5. Cardinals are minus 145. Second game, McGreevy's getting the ball, Martin. And the total is 7.5 for the nightcap. But the nightcap is at 440. Approximate start
We were
time.
discussing off air. Did they move Sonny Gray to the weekend as a somewhat of an acknowledgement that they don't really need him to beat the White Sox?
I think so.
But we kind of want to use you against the Reds rather than against the White Sox.
They also don't have the off days in between the Reds and the Cubs series, so I would imagine that factors in. I mean, all of the doubleheaders, sweet mother.
This is number
mercy.
6.
Unbelievable. Not
And
even
this one is
the
just
end of June.
a regular doubleheader, right? There's not going to be enough wait between the two games.
Yep. That'll be fun for the fans to stick around for the.
Yeah, you get to see both. If you had tickets to today's game, you get to see both.
And if you had tickets to last night's game,
They're giving you a credit to your account. That's what they said.
They probably figured if they cleared the stadium after the first game, no one would come back in the second game.
Just stick around.
You can just hang around the neighborhood outside the ballpark.
Ooh, well,
Would you go and stay for 2, Doug, if you were a fan of the
you'd
local
have to
squad?
really be a fan.
18 innings of White Sox baseball.
There was a time in my life I couldn't think of anything better than going to a Cardinal doubleheader. Would have loved that.
Remember when the schedule would come out, Doug? They would have listed a couple of them on the
A couple
schedule.
of Sunday doubleheaders.
There might be a few folks rolling up there. I like a good roll call. Anybody rolling up 55 going to Chicago? Why not?
See what's doing. Probably taking the kids. Hey, the kids are going to see some Cardinal baseball, eh?
You can leave now, right on time. Why not?
Yeah, call on in. 314-974-0101. We had
a guy driving to Winnipeg by himself to watch a hockey game.
And he got on the television broadcast. Yeah. I don't know what this means, but it's a picture of the Starbucks at Clayton and Lindbergh. And it says, "Come and touch me." That's from the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom. So I guess that's where she is this morning.
That's not a she, Tim. It's a big, burly gentleman. He bowls on Tuesday night, and he's a pipe fitter.
I always thought that location was a white Range Rover dealership.
Kind of
but
is,
apparently it's a Starbucks.
The lines are blurred.
Jackson, you sent over fun with audio. This Michael K is not happy with the team he's broadcasting for. And just as kind of a callback to the days of the play-by-play man who wasn't scared to death of losing his job and could kind of call it how he sees it. Last night, the Yankees scored a run. So Michael K was happy about that because somehow that lineup hadn't done it for 3 games. And they were going up against the Angels. Angels with the best record in baseball?
No, no, not at all. They're a third-place squad in the West.
And when the Angels get down, what they do is they pick themselves back up, and that's what they did, and they were able to beat the Yankees. Michael K's thoughts.
Just 3 hits for the Yankees in this game. 2 of them home runs. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. As the Yankees lose their 6th straight game, and they hear boos from the crowd as the Angels take the first 3 games of this 4-game set. Well, the offense woke up just a little, but certainly not a lot. That 3rd hit was a ball that hit a base runner. Otherwise, the 2 home runs, that was the Yankee offense, Todd.
They said, I think he's being fair. I don't have any problem with anything he's saying.
Yeah, Jackie Papers.
What did I didn't say that he ripped them to shreds. This was we're like how quick we forget. I said I had the Michael K audio yesterday, and scathing might not have been the right word, but certainly critical. Well, I think there's
Tim the dossier says Michael K lets him have it.
That's BS. That is BS. I did not say that.
Michael K. Will he be back for today's game after?
I use the word react.
Michael K goes banty after Yankees lose again.
Michael K. walks into the clubhouse and puts his finger in their chests.
Yeah. There's like a relative scale for like commentary or criticism for the home broadcaster. And I think he's on about as far as you can go.
Absolutely. In 2025, which I think is absurd, but I also understand from the franchise's perspective, why wouldn't we control the message?
Yeah. For play-by-play, I think color commentators can probably get a little bit more leeway on either side.
Awful audio, could barely hear it. Hunchback of Von Castle not happy with the program.
I did hear booing. I mean, you're booing a first-place team. You got to know, if you know baseball at all, this stuff happens to even the best teams in the league. Sometimes you just go through ruts like this, and it happens. I mean, this is kind of extreme, 6 losses in a row, and they didn't score for 3 nights, but still, you still got the best team in your division, and you're going to boo them? I don't get that.
You're anti-boo anyway, though.
Anti-boo unless they're not trying. If you're trying and you just don't get it done, that's not a boo. If you're walking to first base on a double play ball, that's a boo.
But if you're a young announcer and you want to just kind of be honest, remember Kevin Brown, the Orioles young announcer, who pointed out that they'd had some bad seasons?
Wow,
then he got suspended by management because their fans showed up at Orioles games with signs saying "Free Kevin Brown."
What happened to that guy? Is he still doing it?
I think he's doing their games
Because they have new ownership now.
But I also think he got more popular because of it. I remember this is a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he's still calling Oriole games.
But I think what he said was very innocuous. Just say they've struggled, especially because they couldn't beat Tampa Bay. And I think he pointed out that they'd lost like 18 in a row or something to the Rays. Let's see. He was suspended.
It's pretty hard to believe that teams wouldn't even want the announcer to be somewhat honest even during a downturn. I know they're trying to market the club and sell tickets, but at the same time, you still have to be honest, don't you?
This dude's completely checked out. His head's already in Martha's Vineyard. Send him home and let KG produce this quote-unquote show. Oh, Doug, when you call it a quote-unquote show. That's from Nathan from the east side of Alton, and he has been critical of this presentation now for, I think, about a decade.
It's Cape Cod, not Martha's Vineyard. Not like you know the difference.
What is the difference?
I actually don't know.
No, I don't.
Two different islands.
But they're like the same, right? Still wealthy scale.
How does that sentence make sense? But they're like the same. They're two different islands.
But similar type locations?
Yeah, no.
How far apart are they?
Not very.
Okay.
I have the Kevin Brown audio.
Okay. Oh, distracting
For the
us.
Orioles, Brandon Hyde has felt like this has been maybe the toughest ballpark to play in, but the Orioles have a chance to do something special today. They've already clinched at least a split in the series, winning 2 of the first 3, and they could pick up a series win behind Tyler Wells today. It's been a minute. The Orioles split a 2-gamer with the Rays in June. They had lost their last 15 series here at Tropicana Field. You have to go back to when our now colleague Brad Brock picked up the win in the series finale June 25th, 2017, the last time the Orioles won a series here at St. Pete. Already got 3-2 at the Trop this year after winning 3 of 18 the previous 3 years combined. It is a stark difference, Ben, and it is not a bad Rays team. It's not like all of a sudden the Rays became slouches in the American League East. They've led this division every day but now 2, and the Orioles once again are back alone in first place.
Yeah, that got him suspended.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Gotta go.
And that's unbelievable.
Pointing out the stats.
And there was a graphic on the screen that pointed out how they had really struggled against Tampa Bay, and it said tropical depression. And
yes.
That probably offended ownership. Oh, why are you putting a graphic? We're the home team broadcast, and he had nothing to do with the graphic.
Right.
That was so mundane even.
Just simply reading the press notes.
And that got him suspended. Good God.
Wouldn't you, if you're the announcer, wouldn't you want to move on from an organization like that?
Not a lot of jobs out there, sir.
No, there aren't. And it's tough. It's easier said than done, but
And he was
I would think
praising.
you'd start looking for sure.
But
He's been there since 2010. He's got a 15-year run, and he looks like he's a young cat.
he does. Yeah.
So when it happened, he'd been there, 13, 14, whatever years, and that gets you suspended. And he was actually pointing out how the Orioles have turned the corner and finally getting over the hump. Pointed out a couple times, Doug, about the significance of a series win. I noticed.
Yeah. Seems like that would get you suspended from an executive who's worried about their own job.
God. Well, the Angelos family.
A general manager or a team president or someone who's afraid he's going to lose his job, so he's going to blame the announcer for the message.
I think there was a shouting match, too, with a reporter to one of the Angelos kids about their stadium and money and funding. Remember that? That was another one where they, had it out in a postseason media scrum. Just seemed like they were a little bit uptight up there.
Yeah, what was the triumvirate of Joe Strauss, Ken Rosenthal, and who else was involved covering the Angelos family?
Peter Schmuck was the columnist that came for
that's right.
Joe's
for
Memorial
Service.
At Joe's Memorial
That's right.
Service. But who would have been the...
Hey, Buster Olney was a Yankees guy. Either way, some big-time baseball names covered the Angelos family and just was like, this was an absolute clown show. Speaking of clown shows, then you have the Cardinals' opponent today, the White Sox. I was in Chicago for a meeting in 2019 in mid-April. Was staying at the Intercontinental on Michigan Avenue, humble brag. Cubs were out of town, so Buddy and I took the L over to the White Sox night game. I've never been so scared in all my life. The only thing that saved us was the fact that the game temp was 42 degrees and light freezing rain, so even the crook stayed home that night. And yes, we left after the fourth inning. Horrible experience all around. Doug, that's from the Hoosier Trojan Horse. Did not enjoy his experience
Apparently not.
on the south side.
I haven't been to the White Sox Stadium. I've been to the United Center in Chicago.
Yeah.
And the Blackhawks practice facility, which I was told was in a horrible area, and it felt like anywhere in St. Louis. It didn't feel bad at all.
Yeah, when I went to United Center with my brother, Martin Luther King weekend this year, we walked from the United Center back to Greektown. No problem.
Yeah.
It was totally safe.
It's all in your perspective, I guess.
Right.
It's where you're coming from.
Right. Walk with a purpose.
But it is a dangerous town. I mean, I think it is still the murder capital of America right now.
Chicago is?
Chicago, I believe it is. Yeah.
Whose town is it?
Chicago's my town, see?
Thank you. That's what I was going for, Jackie.
Oh.
Thanks for stepping in.
Edward G. Robinson, Q.
Got the second assist there.
Text in on your thoughts on, what was he in the 10 Commandments as a pharaoh? But he sounded like he was...
right out of Brooklyn. So he was a logical successor to become the next pharaoh.
314-974-0101. That's how you can call in the Callier and Thompson phone lines. Chairman Kurt standing by.
Let's do it. Let's look. Doug, clear them out. Let's
you wanna
open.
clear 'em?
All right, anyone on the line, go on now, get out of here. Clear
I'm
the
going
line.
to Chicago.
Clear 'em.
Stand up.
Okay. They should be clear at this point.
Thank you.
You can text in 314-399-9646. Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard are the same. Someone tell Doug his tax bracket is showing.
But one is super wealthy and one is not?
No,
I don't know.
When I said saying the same thing, I didn't mean to belittle. There are two different, Cape Cod's a peninsula, Martha's Vineyard, an island. They're very similar in the sense of wealthy people from the Northeast go on vacation there.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
Yes, but they're two different
What about wealthy people from the
places.
Midwest?
Destin?
Go up to a Sox game. Show your wealth. Hit the road right now. Head on up to the south side.
Yeah.
Back our boy McGreevy.
So you watch two, and then you just drive home. So you spend
Let's spend the night.
8.5 hours.
Maybe
in your car.
not near the Sox ballpark, but spend the night up there. And give Steven Matz a hot dog. You got a full day ahead.
I feel like the hot spot for wealthy people in the Midwest is maybe Naples, Florida.
Yeah.
Is that accurate, Papers?
Naples and south of it, yeah. Like Marco Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Santa Bella area. Yeah. All those places. Would agree.
It's Rate Field.
Yeah, it used to be U.S. Cellular.
It's
I
not
believe.
guaranteed rate. It's just rate now.
Listed
They
as.
had to take away the guarantee.
Yeah, times are tough over there. Saying those islands are different is akin to saying the Hawaiian Islands are all different. Their culture is basically the same. Clam bakes, afternoon sailing, and peeps wearing preppy wardrobes from the 80s featuring the latest lines from Vineyard Vines, Izod, J. Crew, Kate Spade, and Lily P. That's Sharon and Clayton. She's not happy now.
More or less. I mean, she's not wrong.
That's kind of how I envisioned it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's all relative. Like, you could say, well, like, they're all U.S. states. They're just states. They're basically the same. It's like, depends on, like, your perspective on it. But she wasn't wrong about those designers she mentioned.
Will you wear clothes like that yourself?
No. I had to pack my suit for the wedding.
You wearing a seersucker, bro?
No, I don't own any seersucker, which is a shame. But I just struggle to pack a suit. I just know it's coming out wrinkled. But I think there'll be an iron or steam
Covered
situation.
in plastic.
Yeah, I did that. I'm just not confident.
Or you lay it back in, and then you fold the arms in.
I talked to our boss, John Kowski, about this and asked for some advice on this. And he gave me some good advice.
What did he say about it? I'm curious. 'Cause
Basically,
that's a brutal deal.
What Doug and Martin just said. Use plastic.
Plastic?
And then you fold it a certain way and put it in there so that there's pressure on it. But I anticipate it'll come out wrinkled. I have terrible fine motor skills, so my folding ability is awful. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Your fine motor, no good, huh?
No good. The handwriting is abysmal.
Well, I'm
We'll
sorry
see.
to hear that.
I'll iron. I'll be okay.
Okay.
Guaranteed Rate rebranded as Rate.
Really?
Sox announced the ballpark would henceforth be known as Rate Field going into this season.
Oh, there you go, Martin.
They cut a deal, though the Sox are cutting edge. Guaranteed Rate purchased the naming rights in a 13-year deal. They were paying $2.4 million per year, which was less than U.S. Cellular was paying. So they went backwards.
Good deal.
On their naming rights.
You guys all sound like a bunch of renters. Quit talking about towns you know nothing about. That's from the self-made stay-at-home Ladue mom. And she is not happy with the talk of Martha's Vineyard in Cape Cod, where little Jackie Papers is traveling this evening.
I rent, so yeah, that one hurt me. I don't know about you guys. Hurt me.
What would a little house up there cost?
And where? Cape Cod?
or-
I don't know. I couldn't give you a ballpark
I'm
on
sure
that.
it starts in the multiple million, couple
I
million.
mean, just like anywhere, there's different areas that are a little less expensive. And yeah, certainly some areas, most of the areas would be very expensive.
Will Jackie Boy enjoy a lobster roll, cold or warm, smothered in butter? That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Warm.
Yeah, I'm a warm guy, too.
The cold ones with like mayonnaise doesn't do it for me. The warm one is like...
Put
awesome.
mayonnaise on lobster?
I feel like I could eat 5 lobster rolls and wash them down with some crinkle cuts, if you please.
They usually give you potato chips like it's Booch's. I've noticed that with a lobster roll on the
right?
menu. I feel like it's almost always a potato chip.
Peacemaker.
They do French fry?
Oh, you better believe it. And they got really nice spicy wings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the sound of that. The bread they give you in the lobster roll is cool. It's like a big piece of toast that they split down the middle. It's pretty tasty.
Doug, Cape Cod is a hook-shaped peninsula known for its beaches, seafood, and the Kennedy Compound. Martha's Vineyard is a separate island, accessible by ferry or plane. I didn't know that.
You have to take a ferry.
And which one are you going to?
Cape Cod.
Okay.
So it's like the tail on Massachusetts is
Yeah.
Cape Cod.
Huh. Think you'll see a Kennedy up there?
Can't rule it out.
No.
Can't rule it out.
Right.
Lighthouse, that's what I'm hoping to see. Like a nice lighthouse.
Tim, it was about your era. Every time Tom Ackerman will walk into Rams Park, the old PR man Rick Smith is, "Hey, William Kennedy's here." He called him William Kennedy.
Looks kind of like him.
Yeah.
Well, he lived down in Palm Beach. That's where he got in trouble anyway, right?
Yeah.
Bleh.
This looks like a delightful place. I wish I was going, Jackson.
I'll send pics.
All right, send them in the group chat. I'll be curious to see what's doing.
For sure.
I'm a meat and potatoes guy from South St. Louis, just a hard-working, blue-collar kid. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it. Going to Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, whatever they are, I don't know.
Wouldn't even be allowed to go, I wouldn't think.
Right.
Yeah.
Soot all over your face.
From doing some chimney sweeping.
That's exactly right. Being Dick Van Dyke. I've been doing some edging in preparation for my God-given prima nocturite. Cannot wait to take Kai into a straw hut and make him squeal like a pig. Hey, Tim, should I paint my face blue and wear a kilt on my way to the vineyard to carry out my duties on Sweet, Sweet Kai? That's from the recovering alcoholic
be him.
from Belleville and Webster Groves. So he is going as well.
I don't know what about me. I must have blacked out for a second. When I heard edging, I thought for a second, maybe this gentleman's talking lawn care. And then I quickly realized how wrong I was.
Mm-hmm. Sweet Sweet Kai is still the only guest I've ever booked who said, okay, it could be kind of loud because I'll have the blower out.
He was out there this morning, man. He sent me a picture. Dense fog in Cape Cod this
Where
morning.
is Sweet Sweet Kai honeymooning?
That's a good question. I don't know. I do not know. I'll find out. I'll throw that in the group chat, too.
High season at Cape Cod isn't until July and August anyways. Jackson's going too early. That's from Mr. Licks.
True. It's true.
Where do you honeymoon if you're already on Cape Cod?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good
Go
question.
to like Toledo for the weekend?
Yeah, it's the inverse.
Yeah.
If you live in a really nice area, you go to
You
Shreveport.
live in Hawaii, and then you get married. You're like, yeah, we're going to go to Shreveport for the weekend.
Cape Cod is known for its heavy pegging community. That's from Morris Woods Wacko. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
I don't think it's such a seasonal town. I don't know if you could be known for something like that, Like maybe in the wintertime. Not much to do.
It's basically the playground for the super rich in Boston, right?
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Did the Bush family have, was it Hyannis? Was that
That's
the Bush
right.
family?
Hyannisport.
That's Maine, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Kennebunkport.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how excited the Cape Cod residents are for the Helps nuptials to take place this weekend. That's from Arbor Day.
The help.
It's just not nice.
That helps.
You can call in with your stories of vacationing in Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard, 314-974-0101. Collier and Thompson, sponsor of those phone lines, Air Comfort Service, sponsor of the text inbox at 314-399-9646. And then Michelob Ultra is sponsor of the YouTube chat. You go in there and you can talk it over, youtube.com/TMASTL, or if you're just using the YouTube app, it's TMASTL. And 188 friends have gathered to talk it over with Walrus King, John Scores, Iggy on the couch, and Uncle Cucker. They're all talking with Jake and St. Genevieve, so it's fun to see, Doug, and it's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. Michelob Ultra. Man, if you're going to be out on the golf course, there's nothing better than enjoying it with a Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra, sponsor of the YouTube chat here on TMA. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you. Jackie Papers is on the ones and twos. Chairman Kurt manning the phone lines. This is the Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN.
This is Action Jackson with a SportsCenter update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Cardinal game rained out yesterday, so let's play a twin bill against the White Sox on the south side. Eric Fetty will toe the slab for the first game. It's going to be a 1:10 p.m. first pitch. The Cardinals will play again at 4:40 with Michael McGreevy on the mound for the Cardinals. Those are their SportsCenter update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Doug, is the music theme music videos with cartoon characters interacting with the artists?
That's what this is?
I remember that.
And this is MC Scat Cat.
Oh. Now, what was his bailiwick?
Rapping as a cartoon.
Okay.
He danced with Paula Abdul. Is Paula Abdul the music theme today?
No, it's just her 63rd birthday, so
that right?
I thought give her some love.
She seems like a delight.
Sure.
Lakers cheerleader?
Really?
So you tying it all
You
in?
didn't know
with
she was
the
a Lakers cheerleader?
That's how she got started.
Okay.
Doug, the Lake Show acquired yesterday by the lead of the ownership group from the Dodgers for just shy of $10 billion. That franchise acquired by Jerry West 4 decades plus ago and that included the Kings and the Forum. Jerry Buss for $67.9 million. His daughter was able to sell it for $10 billion.
And when he bought the Lakers, they gave him the Forum and they threw in the LA Kings.
Yeah, just threw 'em in.
Just threw in the hockey team.
I think they also had an MISL team too. The Los Angeles, was it the Lasers, Doug? The LA Lasers?
I don't remember. Do you think the values, will the values of these franchises just continue like this?
Yes.
10 years from now, they're going to be worth $30 billion?
Because they are toys for those with so much money that they couldn't care any less, and there are only so many of them. It's kind of like real estate in Florida. They can't keep going, so it's just going to keep increasing.
All these guys really want is more. And if they can get more franchises, something that their fellow billionaire doesn't have, it's an ego thing.
Yeah.
What would I
And fun, too. I'm sure it's fun for them.
Maybe the smart people out there, the Mark Hannas of the world, what would it have to produce profit-wise every year to be worth $10 billion? You know, if you're just looking at the real world.
Well,
math.
isn't the worth the ability to resell it and like
Yeah, but I'm saying in the real world, like a company that
Martin's
sells.
looking for a multiple papers.
I'm saying
Isn't it usually 10 times the profit margin? Whatever you make in profit for a year, 10 times that's like the worth of these businesses?
Well, if that were true, that would mean the profit of the Lakers is $1 billion a year. Therefore, they're worth 10. That's what I'm saying. If this were a real company, not a pro sports team where they just are toys for the rich, what would it need to be producing? Because I'm sure the Lakers turn a profit, but nothing close to what it would take to generate a $10 billion sale.
I doubt they're making $1 billion. If you're making $1 billion a year, you wouldn't sell it for $10 billion.
Correct.
They would have made more money in the S&P. It's not that impressive. That's from Mr. Licks.
Gosh.
Martin, you asked for moneyed listeners.
There you
You got
go.
one right there.
Lex, please don't call in.
You can call in if you are managing wealth. 314-974-0101 to judge the transaction of the Lakers becoming the most expensive sports franchise sale.
I mean, the Mavs sold 2 years ago for $3.5 billion.
Yeah.
Celtics just sold for $6 million.
Ishbia bought the Suns for like 4.5. And so I think that stands to reason.
But you'd think the Lakers are considerably more valuable than some of these teams in
One of
smaller
the
markets.
3 most, like the biggest legacy pro sports.
Brands.
Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers. I think that's fair right there. It's like the big 3.
Probably.
Yeah. Dodgers, maybe we get the 4 spot.
I mean, somebody would buy the Pirates tomorrow for $1 billion.
Sure.
But I can't imagine if you're a sports fan, there'd be many ways to have more fun than owning a professional sports franchise.
Right, and there are only so many of them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the Lakers.
Yeah,
That's That's creme de la creme right there. Suck it, Mr. Licks. That's from On Point Merch LLC.
Yeah, he had that coming.
Came from an LLC.
3 to 5x the company's EBITDA is the very basic formula. That's from Doug's Fashionably Warm Nipples.
Oh, gosh, it's not that fashionable.
Warson Woods Wacko. Multiples when determining business valuations depend on the industry, Doug. Stick to Doug Unplugged in officiating weddings of farm people from Illinois.
Oh, that's not fair.
That's from the Warson Woods Wacko.
So Plowsy got nicked?
Yes, he did. He took shrapnel. So did every farmer in Illinois.
You get to own a legal monopoly, and it's great. That's from Starvin' Marvin. Look at that.
Yeah, you look back at what some of these owners paid for their franchises, like in the 70s and 80s, like what Steinbrenner paid for the Yankees, and, you know, it wasn't very much at all in today's dollars. You wonder, couldn't we have put together some kind of group? Don't we have friends that could have put together a few million to put down and own one of those teams? But now we'll look back 2025, 15 years from now and say, couldn't we have put together just like $200 million and
Group together?
No, we couldn't.
It was the Dave Checketts model. He just always had a group of people.
Yeah.
He was always the owner, but it was a group of people.
That's the way to do it.
How much debt is on the books, and is this price inclusive on this or not? That's from Mr. Licks.
Because he'd like to put in a bid now.
G-Unit out, home slice, with the dice. What?
There's the farm person.
Doug Unplugged was not only clever, but funny as hell. Come at Doug, and you come at me, Warson Woods Wacko. That's from Sharon and Clayton.
Oh, my brother. Thanks, Sherry. Share.
My brother texted me yesterday saying how hard he was laughing with your story about your anesthesiologist saying, I love Doug Unplugged.
That's what he said to me. And then I was out.
I wanted the audio.
That's the last thing I see while I'm alive.
I love Doug Unplugged. I wanted that audio as well as the skipper LaRussa doing a Pujols imitation. Skipper. I hope that's been clipped.
Martin, you asked for moneyed listeners in the M&A world. Well, here they come. They're texting in. 314-399-9646. I finance mergers and acquisitions. A 10x multiple of earnings would actually be high in the real world. 5 to 7x annual earnings is in the range. That is from the 314.
5 to 7 times a company's profit or just earnings?
The annual earnings is in the range. But again, I think, and by the way, I may be wrong, but I don't think that these deals are necessarily done like if you're buying a, laundromat.
Right? No, it's not a comp. I was just curious.
No, I know you're not.
I'm saying for it to be a comp, I wanted to see what that would look like. So by that math, that means the Lakers would have to turn like a $1.5 to $2 billion profit to justify the sales price in the real world.
It's the intangible of owning, and then also the essential assurance that it's going to increase in value. So you have a couple of intangibles that wouldn't necessarily be your standard acquisition.
And some of these guys might be so rich that it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's
if you're a Jeff Bezos or a Warren Buffett type of guy, and they say, no, it's not going to be $9 billion, it's going to be $10 billion, you're going to go, okay, I could give you $20 billion with what I got in my wallet if you want that. Whatever. I just want it.
Doug Unplugged was great, but I prefer to see the big fella plugged. That's from the self-made stay-at-home do mom. But you're going to be happy to hear this, Doug. She says, just let me know what you guys need in cash, and I'll get you a wire by 3 p.m. today.
Okay.
So it sounds like, I guess, if we want to buy a team, she's going to help finance it. That's huge for us. Martin, any team you want to
What team would you like to buy?
That's a great question.
Jackson wants to bring the Pelicans home.
It'd be great.
The team I was going to suggest, I believe it's unattainable, the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, wow.
Can't buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's owned by the people.
Yeah, stockholders own the Packers.
Yeah. Season ticket holders.
Yeah.
I say we buy the Cubs, and then we quietly tank them.
Not bad.
Cubs have been bought by a group out of St. Louis. Fans are not happy.
Sharon, see your fat ass at Starbucks in Frontenac. Bring 5 years of tax returns and personal balance sheet, and bring the K1s. Let's have a contest. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko, and he's looking for a balance sheet showdown at Clayton and Lindbergh this morning with Sharon and Clayton, the star, the Real Housewives of TMA. Martin, this is what happens on this show: balance sheet showdowns.
Usually we stick to zip code shaming.
That's balance sheet.
And if we were smart, which we weren't,
Balance sheet is probably a more fair way to judge people than your zip code. Because there are some people who live in fancy zip codes that don't have a lot of money, and there's people that live in not so fancy zip codes that do.
Why do you hate being house poor?
Well, I'd rather be house poor than just poor.
Flip that off. Multiples are higher with recurring revenue mods. You boy pig of Wall Street. That's from the recovering alcoholic.
Gosh. What did we get called there? Boy pigs of Wall Street?
That's right. Wasn't that a film with Leonardo DiCaprio?
It was a spinoff.
That's a little overboard. You can say you're going to rub honey all over my body, but don't talk about my mother.
Mother, if the Plowhawk gives a toast this weekend, can you please record it, even just for the group?
That would be wonderful if the Plowhawk gave a toast.
It'd be pretty rare to give a toast to your own wedding. Maybe
Don't
rehearsal
you
dinner?
speak? Well, he'll speak at some point, right? Address
Really?
the crowd. Yeah.
That happens. I've been to
Okay.
weddings where
Not saying he's doing
groom
material.
speak. I don't know if I've been to one where the bride speaks.
No.
Certainly at
Obviously,
rehearsal dinners.
sometimes
that
the fathers
happens.
do. And
Okay.
the best man and the maid of honor.
Like they do in bits? Like Abbott,
Like sketches?
Like Abbott and Costello? I think I'd love that. That'd be a great way to...
Well, you've been to weddings where the best man or somebody
Best
will
man,
talk,
yeah,
right?
but never the bride or groom. Never.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the bride or groom talk either.
Oh.
But maybe this was a smaller wedding.
Sure.
Lakers valued in October of 2024. Forbes magazine valued them at $7 billion.
Oh, Doug, how do you do?
Should have got in then.
Yep.
Revenue of $522 million, so they bring in $500 million a year. Operating income close to $200
I wonder how the Clippers no longer playing in the same building would affect that. If that would be better for Lakers ownership or worse. I don't know. I don't know how all
Well, it
that
would
works.
depend on who owned the building.
Right.
Sharon doesn't know what a balance sheet is. I'd also avoid K1s in this showdown. People can have plenty of them with $15 of income or staggering losses. That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener, and he's advising Sharon to not participate in the balance sheet showdown.
Yeah.
Is he saying she's a vanity K1?
Vanity K1.
Yeah.
Guys, remember when that nasally cuck wacko would call in? LOL, dude probably spent all of his years in schools getting bullied for that alone. That's from Mr. Siders, who usually focuses on Jackson's 7-iron distance, and now he's going after the Warson Woods wacko, and Doug, all hell's breaking loose in this Air Comfort
I
Service
know.
text inbox.
Can't we all just get along?
Boy.
The last time I was at that Starbucks there on Clayton and Lindbergh, I went in and ordered like a green tea. It was like $7.
Ooh, ROI.
It was like 8 ounces. I said, "What am I doing? What am I paying this for water for?"
Why don't you put a group
it's
together
packed.
and buy it?
The place was packed.
Suck it, Doug.
Okay, well, that's what I did.
Feels like Edmonds may have been in there at some
He
point,
could have been.
that location, when he's not farming in Tennessee.
That's correct. Sorry to disappoint you, wacko. My delight in my social stance is secure. Don't feel the need for validation by a W-2 showdown with some rando. If what you claim is true, which it probably isn't, you're just another example of how money doesn't buy happiness. I feel badly for you. That's Sharon and Clayton Starr, the Real Housewives.
Came right
of
back at
TNA.
him. She came right back at him.
I gave a 10-minute speech at my wedding. I had to stretch like Chris Rock did on Chappelle Night. Tim wasn't done with my wife, so I had to drag it out. That's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville.
Tap dancing.
That's good.
That's good.
He felt like he
What
had
else
to reach
Frank
a
have to
time
say over
limit.
there? Frank, you enjoying the show right now? What else is Frank's got a lot to offer?
Is this Lexington steel? The shrubs. And leave you quivering. Frank, would you say this statement is accurate? Doug Vaughn, big ego, small Johnson.
Stop it, Frank.
Or deny?
What is going on the press box?
That's my
His show
favorite one.
changed. His show changed a lot since I used to listen.
Yeah.
Frank working. Does it matter? I think it matters. I don't know.
Let's see if
What
they're
if I had...
Go ahead, fire your bullets.
No, I
papers.
clicked on the wrong one.
There is no wrong one.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man.
The Arnold Palmer was
It
the best.
matters. It matters.
How about Arnold Palmer? Can we have this breakdown of Arnie?
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I got it right here, Doug. I got it.
Okay.
Women wanted to be him, and men.
Women wanted to be like him, and guys wanted to be with him.
Maybe it was true.
Sergeant Major Rose wants to talk about it on the Callier and Thompson phone lines. Good morning,
Salute.
Sergeant Major.
Salute.
Good morning, fellas. Belated Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Well, thank
God
you.
bless.
I'm
Right back at you.
hoping there was no foot rub and chicken specials that were offered up.
Jackson, was that in play?
It's only in May.
Only in May. Perfect. No, I'm on detail, and I had the show on this morning, and a couple of the guys I work with were like, what are you listening to?
Reasonable.
Fair question.
And I say, well, maybe you should chime in. So you got a couple more East Coasters out here listening to the show today. So I thought I'd give you a heads up.
Doug, they love us on the East Coast.
Where are you? Can you tell us where you are?
Nation's capital right now.
Oh, our nation's capital.
Okay, that's enough. You don't need to know more than that, Doug.
All right.
What was your response when they say, what is this?
I said, well, if you're not from the Lou, you wouldn't get it, but it's still very entertaining and worth the listen. So,
Okay. Did they buy it? Did they get on board?
well, they're listening right now, so I'm
Okay.
assuming they are so far. So far, so good. They haven't, clicked off their off the streaming, so I'm assuming that they're enjoying it. I'm sure I'll get grief when I hear from them later on today.
With the world tension rising, has your job changed at all in the recent days?
It's ratcheted up dramatically, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Well, we'd hate for this show to get in the way of governmental business.
Well, I gotta have my focus, so I have to have my morning. It's like my morning coffee. Listening to you guys, it helps me get my head clear for the day that lies ahead. My actual detail doesn't start for a couple more hours, so it works out pretty good for me. So,
all right,
excellent.
Well, we're
thank
glad
you,
to
Sergeant
help.
Major Rose.
Thank you, Sergeant.
yeah, well, hey,
Major.
you guys have been helping us since Afghanistan. Just so you know, we've been listening. The other guys that work with me were over in the sandbox when we were listening to the show back then. So, very grateful and very we love the show and it's a great morning stress reliever for a lot of us. And I know that the text wars between the listeners are something to be maybe might have to start a new watch list. I guess I'm not quite sure.
New watch list. I like
Keep an eye
that.
on some of these
On
guys.
the
Monitor
watch
our
list.
text inbox.
The TMA inbox is now on a watch list.
Yep.
The sandbox, is that what you call it?
You like that? I bet you like that term,
I
the
did,
sandbox.
yeah.
I like that term.
So yeah, it's a great show. Love everything. Love you guys. And like I said, it's like my morning coffee. I can't pretty much get through my day without it. So.
How about that, Doug? The program's
yeah.
like the morning
Thank you,
coffee.
sir.
It'll make you take a leak.
Thank you, Sergeant Major Rose. Always good to hear from you.
Have a great one.
Thanks, you too. That's Sergeant Major Rose from D.C., Doug, protecting our nation while listening to this program.
And did I hear it right? Were they listening in Afghanistan? It was so dangerous over there, they thought, well, listening to the radio show can't be worse than this. So they turned it on there?
Intellectual things are just my jam.
Yeah, it goes for a lot of us. Huh. Well, nice to hear from him.
Absolutely.
Hey, Papers, was your mic on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't honestly facing the mic.
Ah.
So that's
All
probably
right.
why it
Good
sounded
posture.
hollow.
Keep your good posture.
You're right.
there.
No, you're right.
Again,
Doug, you're right.
I want you on a headset at some point so you can multitask.
Oh, like the Britney Spears mic?
Yeah.
That'd be
Oh,
great.
yeah.
I got to get
Or you're managing a Banana Republic.
Yeah, both are great. I had one of those when I worked in the movie theater. It was awesome.
Doug, a hot cup of Tim in the morning does the trick. That's from
Okay.
Joe Boo's
Stop
Jockstrap.
it.
First thing I got to say is what just a privilege and honor it is to speak with Tim McKernan.
Stop this.
Sharon, isn't it time for another lip injection? My single friends say you need one, and they're hanging out at Brio. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko, and he is trying to bait her into the balance sheet showdown, which would be on the east side of Lindbergh, Doug, whereas Brio, of course, on the
Other
west side
yeah, the corner
of Lindbergh. But they can maybe hang out afterwards once they settle the balance sheet showdown. We will be there to cover it if there is a balance sheet showdown today. It would be wonderful. You can share your balance sheet by sending it in at 314-399-9646. That's how you can text in, call in, 314-974-0101. Who would have known that the sale of the Lakers for $10 billion would activate a balance sheet showdown amongst listeners on this program, but alas, it has. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne, Jackson Burkett is on the ones and twos. Chairman Kurt is manning the Collier and Thompson phone lines, which you can call into at 314-974-0101. Mentality is a longtime sponsor of this program. And if you're feeling like you're running on empty, Mentality Health is here to help. If you're dealing with low energy, low motivation, fatigue, you're tired all the time, weight gain, muscle loss, especially belly fat, you're feeling anxious, moody, or irritable, a lack of focus or mental clarity, those are all symptoms of low testosterone. Mentality is a local healthcare facility that specializes in helping men feel and perform at their very best, with board-certified physicians providing a full physical consultation and blood panel analysis all during your first visit. It is Mentality, and I have been tested. It was super easy, in and out, friendly staff, and you now have the information you need to be the dad who can keep up with his kids, be the husband your spouse knows you can be, and feel and perform like you did 5 or 10 years ago, whether it's at work, in the gym, or at home. This year, stop settling for a fraction of your potential. Mentality's New Year offer is your chance to take back control. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio to find out more information or even a discount. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio. The program is called TMA, and it is presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. Moritz Reusch Jewelers, family, locally owned now for more than 4 decades. That's right. It's Moritz Reusch, online at ninjabling.com and located in Richmond Heights, right across from the St. Louis Galleria on Brentwood Boulevard in the Tower, and they're located on the 15th floor. You go in there, and that is a totally different jewelry buying experience. Number one, they respect that you have a budget, and they're not going to try to get you to go over that budget. Number two, it's private. They have so much jewelry right there in stock, specifically engagement rings for the guys who want to get something put together pretty quickly, or they also do custom jewelry if they want to design something from the ground up. It's Moritz Reusch, online at ninjabling.com. And Dan Reusch and his family are operating it, and they have been. This is a different jewelry buying experience you're going to find at so many different places. This is local. This is family owned. It's Moritz Reusch on the 15th floor of the Tower, right across from the St. Louis Galleria, online at ninjabling.com. this is either passive-aggressive at me or Carly Simon's birthday.
It's not Carly Simon's birthday.
Warren Beatty's
so
birthday.
passive-aggressive at me.
Well, when saying this is passive aggressive about me, like justify the song.
That was the whole
being
point of it, correct?
Yeah, I thought so.
And Warren Beatty was the target,
I
Doug?
believe
Mick
it was
Jagger.
One of
Some
those.
confusion about that.
I mainly played it because famous for being a Martha's Vineyard fan, resident. Carly
Well, she did a
Simon.
concert there.
Yeah, but I think she also has a home there too.
Probably has a home anywhere she wants.
That's probably about right.
She was from the publishing company Simon & Schuster.
Right. Big money.
Carly Simon confirmed that the actor Warren Beatty was one inspiration for the lyrics.
How about that?
It's a great song.
Carly Simon will join us coming up in the 9 o'clock hour.
That'd be kind of fun.
That'll be good to
Iggy
talk.
might have her number.
Probably too big. She's
Things
probably
pop up that are so. Was James Taylor unfaithful to Carly Simon? Taylor had affairs.
That's in the text inbox, or that's
No, that's Wikipedia. That it generates this whole conversation online. Taylor had affairs with a few other women, eventually setting up a separate home with one of his dancers while still living with Simon and their children in New York.
Wow.
He didn't seem like James Taylor looked like a Mr. Rogers type.
But let me tell you something, Martin. That James Taylor, he apparently was like the chairman of the board. I mean, the ladies, they loved his style. Imagine him walking into Napoli.
Carly Simon and James Taylor, iconic yet rocky love story. That's from Nine Honey.
Nine
Honey is the news source.
It's a website that I'm not going to click on because I don't know what it is.
You guys know who you get? Do you guys know who Warren Beatty's sister is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shirley MacLaine.
That's a nice little piece of trivia.
Isn't it nice?
Mm-hmm.
Is Franklin County too far out to be on the Real Housewives of TMA? My wife stays home with our 5 kids and loves this show. I may have to watch her around Doug, though. That's from the 636. Doug, is Franklin County too far out? For
Absolutely not. Very much in play.
All right.
It doesn't have to be around me. Just send in a video. Tell us who you are, what you like about the show, what you hate about the show,
Right.
why you'd like to be a part of Real Housewives of TMA, and we'll go from there.
Send the email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com, and maybe we can have our first casting. Self-made stay-at-home Ladue mom says she sent in a video, but I haven't seen it.
It's a gentleman, Tim.
I was wondering if I could participate. I was hoping that Jennings could suck on my toes and stuff.
Oh, and stuff.
Jackson, what's the theme? I forgot. After all that Carly
music?
Simon talk, yeah,
Just the Martha's Vineyard, and it's just it's a banger, you know.
it's a banger.
Sometimes themes are special when if it's not
actually
every
makes
day.
sense.
Well, yeah, and if it's not every day.
I feel like today's theme is that you're leaving out of town and let's just play some music.
Sure. Yeah, it started a great conversation about. I can't remember who we were just talking
Carly
about.
Simon, James Taylor.
Jamie Taylor. The ladies loved his style.
Yeah.
Did Carly Simon have a relationship with Mick Jagger? The two of them shared a strong bond, although their relationship details have often remained scarce and speculative. Quote, if Mick could have had his way, it would have been Romeo and Juliet tragic. We couldn't have each other, Simon wrote in her 2015 memoir. It still leaves you wondering a little bit.
She was very good. She had some really big songs that were big hits.
Yeah. We're really skewing to the kids these days. I like it. Carly Simon, Kendrick. You never know where we're going to go.
No,
that's the
you
theme.
really don't.
We love you for that, Jackson.
Hey, thanks, Martin.
By the way, when you think, Sergeant Major Rose calling in, people are saying thank him for his service. Even he gets nicked.
Yeah.
People are still sending sarcastic.
It doesn't matter. You can be defending the nation in our nation's capital, Doug.
Yeah. You're still going to get nicked.
And still be told. I think he was told to drive into a swamp.
Yes.
You can call in and be told to drive usually into oncoming traffic on 270, 314-974-0101. So if you want to start your day in that fashion, that's how you can do it. You call in here. Collier and Thompson sponsor the phone lines. Air Comfort Service sponsor of the text inbox. 314-399-9646. And many friends have gathered in the YouTube chat to talk it over. YouTube.com/TMAS. TL. That's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Martin, did you share this on the air, or was this off the air? The Matthew Tkachuk exchange? I never know. I don't think I'm violating the omerta though by bringing this up. If it was told on the air, Jackson, was it told on the air?
I believe it was off the air.
Off the air, but it's fine. So I was trying to get Big Walt.
Hey, you Walter.
I think it was yesterday to call in. And I have occasionally some group texts with Matthew and Big Walt. So I said, hey, congrats to the Kachuk family. As Mama Kachuk would say, wicked awesome. And then I said, if anybody's awake or alive, call into the radio show on Thursday. And then at 10:41 last night from Matthew, thank you. Still can't believe it. Back to back. Which Tim then pointed out to me and deflated me greatly.
Oh, I didn't mean to deflate
No,
you.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Copy. He said, that's great. Copy and paste. I know it probably is.
Because he probably has, God only knows,
thousands and thousands.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So he wants to respond, which is very kind. And he's just got the...
Yeah, in Notes app.
No.
Copy and paste it.
Our last group text was a brawl broke out at Two Eagles Golf Course in British Columbia during a Monday night league. Witnesses say that slow play was the cause of the altercation, with the blue shirt group having hit into the slower group, and then it led to a fist fight. So I said, Big Walt, this you, and Matthew laughed at it, and Walt did not respond.
He's a stick, huh?
Yeah.
You see, they damaged the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
in the
that's exactly
celebration.
right, Doug. The Stanley Cup's banged up. The bowl of the trophy is cracked, and now the bottom is dented. It's not the first time this has happened. It happened with a variety of teams in recent history, for that matter. A spokesman for the Hockey Hall of Fame said the keepers of the cup are taking the appropriate steps and plan to have it repaired by the celebration parade, which is taking place on Sunday. Damage is nothing new for the 131-year-old silver chalice that has been submerged in pools and the Atlantic Ocean and mishandled by players, coaches, and staff for more than a century. Just this decade alone, the Lightning dropped the cup during their boat parade in 2021, and the Avalanche dented it on the ice the night they won the cup in 2022.
Wasn't it Big Rig who was kind of blamed for it?
Oh, he got the
that's what I'm reading here. Yeah.
What do you got?
Pat Maroon accidentally dropped the trophy, causing a dent. Maroon slipped during a boat parade, falling backwards while holding the cup, and it landed on it and resulting in the damage. It landed on its end.
It's kind of amazing that it's still around at all. 131 years of being partied with and celebrated over. 131 years of anything is a long time.
Tell me if I'm wrong on this, Martin. I feel like you would be the person who would know.
Sounds like logistics.
It is, and that's why Martin would know. There are multiple Stanley Cups.
I was just going to say, I think there's at least two.
All right.
Yeah.
The keeper of the cup.
It's like Saddam Hussein's.
The real one is there in Toronto at the Hall of Fame.
They're often compared. The chalice and Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
I saw the real one at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. It's under lights, and it looks like a religious artifact. People are kneeling in front of it.
Well, it's Lord Stanley's.
Then they have the traveling cup or two.
Yeah,
Former TMA producers are crying when they see it.
I'm reading 3. There's 3 Stanley Cups.
Oh,
The presentation
okay. So
cup.
they're open with it.
Presentation cup.
The permanent cup, which is on display, which Doug was just talking about, and then the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup, the original, which I guess is the original one. So like the one that's probably 131 years old.
They said they would have this one up and running by Sunday, but that's a long time for these boys to make it to Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, how about the pony they were having in Fort Lauderdale yesterday?
On that
Mother
balcony?
of mercy. They just stayed up the whole night. Not that that's particularly surprising. Then Marchand shows up, and they get the "Thank You Boston" cheer going for a message back to their rivals. But there is a little track record of players leaving Boston and immediately having some success. Brady, Buccaneers. Ray Bourque, who beat the Blues in the 2001 Western Conference Finals and then went and beat the Devils to win his first Stanley Cup. Mookie Betts, Brady, Bourque, and now Marchand with the Chalice, albeit he won one in his rookie year with the Bruins. But, the "Thank You Boston" chant going on. Is there one for the NBA, for
Ray
the
Allen.
Shuttlesworth?
Ray Allen.
Shuttlesworth. Yeah,
He
Shuttlesworth
also
with
won
the Heat.
one. Yeah, he also won his first.
Well, and if any Boston fan is calling in today and complaining about their players leaving and winning, there's been plenty of winning in Boston.
Yeah, geez.
They've had plenty of parades.
Most successful city in sports in the last 25 years since the turn of the century? Is it like a no-brainer, not even close?
Yeah,
so.
I don't even
Because of
know
the
it would be
Patriots
second.
alone.
LA maybe second, but that's, I mean,
Look at the Dodgers, the Lake Show, the Rammies.
How many Super Bowl wins they have?
Kings with the Chalices.
Yeah, they got like 7 Super Bowls, right?
You're
Patriots,
talking
yeah.
Patriots.
Boston?
Two different shows. Yeah, you're over here, Jackson, Patriots. Doug over there is, you were LA. Doug was Boston.
Well, the weird wind up to your point there. There's a lot of it was like a fishing rod.
He's casting.
That's why you have to stay in shape to do that.
Fishing rod.
Right.
They don't give these shows to just anyone, but they're thinking about it later today at a special behind closed door meeting.
Guys, the bar's called the Elbow Room. I was there during spring break in 1982. That's from Pele Blanco.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been there in spring break, too. Well, actually, winter break over Christmas.
Yeah, they had Big
Fun
Walt
place.
and handed the cup from Matthew.
Is it a club or just a bar?
It's a bar.
It's like a islandish bar type thing.
It's right on A1A there.
I can get a boat drink?
Across the street from the beach.
Yeah, right.
PR for
Guys,
them.
there's a story that Barkov went around his neighborhood at 5 a.m. after winning the cup and rang on his neighbor's doorbells to show him the cup. I saw a ring video that somehow got posted on social media.
I saw that too. That was
of
awesome.
Barkov at 5 a.m. with some of his teammates ringing the doorbell and knocking on the door of his neighbors. They turn on the lights like, what the hell is it? And it's Barkov holding the Stanley Cup on their doorstep.
It'd be a nice picture to get if you could.
Yeah, the ring video is glorious.
It's like a kid wanting to play wiffle ball, but it's, an NHL player with the Stanley Cup outside your door.
Could be frightening, though, if you weren't expecting it, to think there's a stranger out there with a battering ram about to go through the front door.
I think I read that their neighbor is a huge hockey fan, asked for it. Like, he's like, if you win the cup, you have to come here with it.
Probably so.
Tim,
yes,
there's been a development.
Oh, wow.
And it's crushing. Matt Poling, friend of the show.
My roommate, my compadre.
Your Mizzou Sigma Chi guy?
Yeah.
He says, confirming, exact same text. And he shows a screenshot, Poling to Matthew Tkachuk. Thank you. Still can't believe it. Back to back. This is like the Father's Day text where you write back, hey, thanks so much for your kind words. And they go, who's this? Happy Father's Day. So I don't think Matthew will be calling into the show.
What about Walter?
I'm taking another run at that fella.
Yeah, might as well.
He would be great. And he's got to get back to work. The draft for the NHL is next week.
Right.
And in all sincerity, that is part of his job. The reason he's always out in Sarnia scouting is because they're looking for the next big thing. He's got a job to do back here.
Maybe they're done with that already. You wouldn't think there's
Done
still
all the work?
You wouldn't think there's still a lot of hockey.
Doug, don't you think they're restacking the board?
Yeah,
I
cramming.
don't know.
The Rams would always restack the board.
Trying to figure out who's got blue
Big tie
feet.
hill.
It's a big tie hill. Nothing upset Doug more than the Rams' selection of the 5'6" cornerback.
Horrible.
Delightful gentleman.
Mr. Pick, is that what they call him?
Pick.
I think he called himself that.
No, he was a Tuesdays with Ty, one of those things where you do alliteration in sports talk radio.
And they sell it
And he
to
was on
somebody.
it. I think you had already had your exit, but maybe and the cat was like, we got to come up with a nickname for you. And he goes, how about Mr. Pick? And he played along with it. And I don't know how well that played with the veterans that the rookie came in calling himself Mr. Pick.
Yeah, it's tough.
Johnny Load.
Yeah, wasn't that John
It was
Rodriguez?
very
It was
similar
akin
to the
that.
Johnny Load. It is TM8, and it's on 101 ESPN, plus on YouTube at youtube.com/TMA. STL. That's where you can watch the program and talk it over with other listeners. And, of course, you can email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Doug, you know something about Design Air Heating and Cooling. With these hot temperatures, sweet mother of mercy, you want to be able to go to DesignAirService.com.
Or you're going to need it when it comes to heating and cooling, of course. You got to trust the name that's been around longer than all of us, and that is Design Air Heating and Cooling, proudly serving the area since 1904. More than a century of keeping homes comfortable and customers happy. They're not just another HVAC company. They are, of course, the longest-running sponsor on TMA, and that loyalty says a lot. The helm, Seth Goldcamp, a name you can trust, leading a team that truly values integrity. Seth has been out to my house a couple times, and also some of his handsome repairmen. Boy, they do great work. At Design Air, they believe in honest work. You'll never be sold something you don't need, whether you're dealing with the St. Louis cold or the summer heat that's right around the corner. They have got your back with dependable service and no-pressure solutions. Visit DesignAirService.com and schedule your service today. Design Air, comfort you can count on since 1904. And, of course, the home of the handsome repairman.
Email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. The Cardinals have hit a skid, although they have won 2 of their last 3, but it is nothing like what is going on in another market. And a former Cardinal broadcaster is on the call of that, and he gives his perspective on what it's like to be on the call of a team that is in a death spiral. We'll have that for you next. It's TMA 101 ESPN. Ah, Doug. How does this one factor in, Pappas?
It doesn't.
You just played songs that Jackie Papers wants to play as he heads to the Northeast.
Kinda, yeah.
Don't give a rip.
Yeah, I mean, it's Billy Joel. It's, I think the people enjoy.
Probably play him in Cape Cod.
It's like 3 separate songs in one.
Yeah, I like that. I'd say the same, like Bohemian Rhapsody is kind of like that, and I think it's cool.
I hate Bohemian Rhapsody, though, and I don't
Really?
know what that's about. I think it was so overplayed during the Wayne's World run that I think that's where it comes from.
That's fair.
But I don't know. Need to psychoanalyze that.
What's your favorite Queen song?
Another one bites the dust.
It's a nice bass line.
But a lot of use over the years, just like We Are the Champions.
Yeah,
a lot of
that
use.
gets too much use. Yeah, it's got to be one of their anthems, though. You got to pick a deep track Queen song.
Oh, like Radio Gaga, which is the namesake for Lady Gaga. Doug, did you know that? I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know it.
Never knew that.
Yeah, that's information that I'm providing here for the first time on this show. TMA 101 ESPN shows presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Brown and Cruppen's online at brownandcrouppen.com. And if you want to call them, 314-222-2222. They are St. Louis through and through. Founded right here in 1979 and just built brand new offices on the hill right across from Ragazzi's. And it is Terry Crouppen, his son Andy, and Ed Herman, who you hear on the program every Tuesday. And they are TMA listeners, and we ask that you support the sponsors. If you are in need of a personal injury attorney, you want to be in a position to work with somebody who is local and knows the legal environment, that's where Brown and Crouppen comes into play. brownandcrouppen.com, 314-222-2222. Remember, the choice of an attorney is an important decision. It should not be based solely on advertisements. Some good news here. By good news, I mean news that is just coming out. I wouldn't call breaking, but something that I think our listeners will be interested in from the St. Louis Business Journal, just posted here. And it's about the Cardinals and what went on with the Chiefs, Royals, and how it could impact the Cardinals. Bill DeWitt III appeared on the St. Louis Business Journal's podcast, The Arch City Report. I would consider that to be recommended listening, for the record. And they're going to post that podcast later today. Bill DeWitt III said the Cardinals were hands-off in pushing for state legislation that seeks to retain the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals in Missouri, but it also opens the door for state support of Busch Stadium upgrades. DeWitt made these remarks during a live taping of the Arch City Report, and that is going to be published here coming up this morning or this afternoon. Governor Mike Keogh signed the stadium legislation this past weekend after it was passed during a special session. It addresses concerns the Royals and Chiefs could leave Missouri for Kansas after stadium leases expire. But the legislation applies to a stadium development and renovation project in the state that costs more than $500 million for facilities with over 30,000 seats. Its passage comes as the Cardinals are planning for major renovations at Busch Stadium, which opened nearly 20 years ago in 2006. The Cardinals have kept an eye on the efforts to craft legislation aimed at keeping the Royals and Chiefs, but did not insert themselves directly into the conversation on the bill. Per Bill DeWitt III on the podcast, he said the following, quote, "It was something we did not do much work on, to be honest, for a long period of time. And then right at the end of the session, when we finally saw the bill, we started getting active in trying to figure out whether we might qualify or whether we could be helpful in the process in the legislature. The Cardinals did not help shape the final language of the bill, but did express support for it to lawmakers," said DeWitt. He credits the bill's ability to aid Busch Stadium upgrades to fortuitous timing, with the effort to retain the Royals and Chiefs overlapping with the Cardinals planning for their own stadium project. That it comes from the St. Louis Business Journal, and the podcast will be aired this morning, and it's called Arch City Report, the Business Journal, with Bill DeWitt III.
I'd like to know what kind of improvements they plan on making, because it looks
replacing
to me
the seats. That's one thing.
I think he
Improving the
said
suites.
HVAC and structural, a lot of that stuff, which is not exciting.
Yeah, just stuff you don't see, I guess.
But it was a natural reaction, I think, to the Royals and the Chiefs getting some state money. I think every professional sports team now will look at it and say, okay, what What's in it for us? It's
Blues,
a natural
probably.
reaction.
Maybe
Blues,
next.
Yeah. Battle Hawk, maybe.
Well, it seems fair if the state's going to pay for 2 franchises on the west side. They ought to take care of St. Louis as well.
The Cardinals privately financed nearly 90% of Busch Stadium's development, which cost $411 million. DeWitt said he's going to need help from both the city and the county to get things accomplished. Regarding local government support, he said, quote, "We definitely need the help of the city to be on board to advance the project." So that is in the podcast interview. The timeline for the Busch Stadium renovations, according to DeWitt, are going to be taking place, Doug, in 2 buckets. Do you mind that term?
I don't really like it, no.
One involves the ballpark's mechanical systems with upgrades to the HVAC systems, elevators, and escalators. The rest will focus on fan-facing components of the stadium, seeking a refresh after 20 years. He said it's a common time frame to start thinking about what your mix looks like in terms of seating offerings, food and beverage offerings, whether your stadium is properly configured to match the demand that's out there for your product. And he said some upgrades will be driven by changes in technology. Busch Stadium was built when fans still used paper tickets to enter. Fans now use mobile tickets to get into stadiums.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that had to save him a fortune. Just a fortune in printing costs. To think that they were prepared or already had printed out paper tickets for 45,000 seats for 81 home games, and now they don't have to do any of that?
I still kind of like a paper ticket. You're walking around. Where's your seat? Hey, fella, where are you sitting here? Oh, well, hold on. My phone is still uploading. Hold on. Oh, sir, you're in the wrong section.
Technology and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's me. Technology
I like that
and
too.
stuff.
I like the paper ticket, but you can sure understand why they don't. And it sure is easy to trade tickets or sell them or send them to someone if you can't use them. It makes all the sense.
Went to that Mizzou, Oklahoma game, and I'm in line, and my phone is locking up, and I've got, and there's like a just
bad
stampede of, and there's a stampede of people going in. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like, come on. I was never more nervous.
You got to get those bad boys in your Apple Wallet while you have good service, and then you get to Furrow.
Doug, you got to get the bad boys in your Apple Wallet.
Apple Wallet's a game changer.
But what if the phone dies? What if your battery of your phone dies? Do they have charging stations?
You're an adult. You can't have your phone die.
But still, sometimes things happen.
It's unacceptable.
You just took the keys away from Grandpa.
The phone is so important. The cell phone is so important. It is completely irresponsible to have your phone die.
Your phone has never died, ever.
Not when I needed it, no.
But it has died.
Only if I let it, because it's good for the battery.
But sometimes stuff just happens.
I think so. Yeah. That's what they say. Like
sometimes you think you got a charger in the car.
Sure.
Oh, it's not working.
Accidents, crazy things happen. Maybe your charging port isn't. But by and large, 95% of the time, a grown adult in America, you have to have your phone charged.
Right. 95% of the time is about right. But there's still 5% of the time that you might get up there and go, oh, my phone just died. My ticket's on the phone. I wonder if some of these places have charging stations right there by where you get in. So if that happens, they could help the people.
I'm saying if you're paying $250 or whatever, you're paying like $100 for a sporting event, and tickets are going to be on your phone, and you didn't charge your phone, then, you went to war without any bullets. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Some people have older phones. They haven't replaced the phone yet, and the battery's dying real quickly. And you think, for sure, I'm leaving the house. I got 40% power. I'll be fine. Oh, doggone it. The charger didn't work in the car. And then you get to the stadium, and you're down to 2%. And you wait in line, and it's done. And the phone, I'm sure this has happened
and you got to send it to somebody else whose phone is charged, and they were responsible and charged their phone. But
you're the one who's got to show them the ticket to get to walk in.
Right, but you can send the tickets to a friend.
How's that going to help?
If their phone's charged, you're good.
No, because you got to have the phone. You got to have it to get in.
What if my phone dies? Where's the parking lot? Donnybrook, this grumpy old bastard. That's from Harbor Day.
That stuff happens.
Donnybrook, that's a verb, Martin?
Send them to PBS? I don't get that.
But when you get in the building and then your kids wander off, they don't have the tickets, Doug.
I know.
It's all on my phone.
I'm with you. I completely
can't say to them, you're an adult. Carson, figure it out.
He's not.
But then he's wandering off without a ticket.
How's he going to get his way back? Maybe kids don't have phones. Yeah. Maybe they're not old enough to have a phone. So now they're wandering around the stadium without a ticket.
You know what?
I'm not saying I don't like the system. I fully support why they did it. I'm just saying there are some problems. There were problems with paper tickets. You lose your paper ticket and you're just out of luck.
Yeah, right. Like I remember once me and my dad went to a Cardinal game. We drove all the way down to Busch Stadium, parked, and we had forgot the tickets at home. Mm-hmm. Those days are gone.
Ooh, that had to be a bad beat.
He was pissed. It was brutal.
Did you tell him you're an adult? You should have remembered the tickets.
No, I wouldn't have. No, not the time.
There are some people who aren't as addicted to their phones as everyone else.
For sure.
And they might forget it or maybe not know how to handle it.
That's even
right.
better excuse. Like that's less of an excuse to have your phone die. If you're never on your phone and it dies, that's just careless.
Arbor Day says what Bill DeWitt did not say in the conversation is that they have to reinforce the steel girders for the upper deck as part of a 10-year BMI adjustment. The St. Charles Fats are bowing those top rows.
Oh.
That is...
This is on St. Charles. It makes St. Charles County pay.
That's Arbor Day, and I guess he has a source that the steel girders, because of a BMI adjustment?
Knock it off with all the helmet nacho offerings.
So you think the helmet nachos should only be offered in the lower bowl?
Probably, where there's more of a base. A little sturdier down there.
Should reverse it, really. The fats should go down low.
Mm-hmm.
The skinnies should go up top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You load from the bottom down.
If your kid is too young for a phone, they shouldn't be wandering alone in a stadium, you geezer. That's from Beer Cats Doug, and he, of course,
some people
is
aren't
with
gonna,
Hot Wife Autumn.
Some people aren't going to give their kids a phone until they're 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah.
A couple of 10 or 11-year-old kids could go together to go to the bathroom. It's not optimal, but it's happened, I'm sure.
I want to say my take on your phone not being charged, it doesn't matter if you're old, young, if you are an adult human in America, like, you have to have your phone charged. It's just, it has to be done. And
well, but that's easier said than done. Sometimes stuff just happens to people.
Totally. In a rarity, things happen. You're absolutely right.
I wouldn't want to be the usher or the ticket taker, because you all day have people saying, oh, I don't know, it's here in my phone. Hold on.
No,
I can't. No, it's not loading. Oh, it was in my email all day.
No,
and how many times you just say, oh, screw it, go on.
It'll probably take a while before the entire population gets it and is fully prepared every time you go in. We're probably getting there. I don't see many problems now.
No.
There were a couple years ago. You always saw people with problems.
You usually just have to turn your brightness up. Like, that usually fixes any issue with online tickets. The brightness on your phone. Yeah. The scan is easier.
What about concert tickets? You ever save those back in the day? Oh, I saw the Flaming Lips at
Flaming Lips
at the Hearns. Yeah.
I guess you got to take a screenshot of your phone and then print that out. You got to make your own paper ticket.
Well, some venues, when you get it, like, you have a mobile ticket, but they'll give you like a ticket stub if you ask for it. Like Will Call. One place I've seen a couple places do that, which is pretty cool. If you are a collector of that sort.
Tickets, not a problem in Washington, Martin, if you want to go watch the Rockies and Nationals play today.
What a
for a day
matchup.
game. Oh, it's so good. Things are not going well for Washington. Actually, the Rockies, they've won 4 in a row. That's 25% of their wins have taken place since Sunday. But Natitude has lost 11 in a row. Bob Carpenter called Cardinal games for a number of years. Here is what he has to say about the Natties.
But I just want our fans to know you're entitled to your opinion about everything that's going on. Baseball fans pay a lot of money now to park, to buy a ball cap or a jersey, to eat and drink at the ball game. That's the beauty of baseball. You can manage the game in your mind. You can be the hitting coach. You can be the pitching coach to your heart's desire. It's great. It's your privilege. And you should do that because it proves you care about the game. But my philosophy as a local team broadcaster, I always thought my job was to make our fans feel good about following our ball club, taking their loyalties, enhancing all of that. And when you win like we did 6 years ago, it's unbelievable. And when you're having a tough time, it is really, really tough. And every fan has to make up his or her own mind about how far that support goes. Are you a true fan? Are you a spectator? Or are you a casual fan? And I know we've got thousands upon thousands, 10,000s of really loyal fans who love this game, love this city, and love this team. And these are the times that try us all.
You could tell the game was going on. He wasn't even mentioning it. He didn't care anymore.
Not the Vince Scully model of...
Their last 6 losses have come to last-place teams in Colorado and Miami. That's not good.
Well, Miami might not be a last-place team much longer, as the Natitude is only 0.02 of a percentage point up on them in the NL East. The NL East, which I thought anyway, going into the season, would feature some of the best in 3 of the top teams. Well, they only have 2 of them, and then 3 teams under 500, and 2 of them the worst in the game. The Braves are 6 games under 500, and that's with winning 2 in a row. And then Natitude is 14 games below 500 on an 11-game losing streak. And, of course, the Marlins are where you would expect them to be, in last place for the moment. Again, if you could have parlayed the Marlins, Pirates, and Rockies being in last place before the season, I wonder what that would have paid. It might have been even money. It was that predictable.
And the NL Central, not considered a terribly strong division, has 4 teams above 500.
Who would have thought? I would not have thought.
Yeah, and the AL East is the only other division in baseball that can claim that.
I think all of the last place teams in the 6 divisions, 5 would have been exactly what you would have expected. White Sox, A's being the 2 in the American League, the Orioles being the surprise in the AL East. Your thoughts are welcome by texting in 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text inbox. Call in like Sergeant Major Rose did at 314-974-0101. Watch the program, talk it over with other listeners. YouTube.com/TMASTL. The program's called TMA. It's presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. St. Louis has a local gem in Dents Express. Family owned and operated right here in St. Louis since 1992. Gray Wilson and his team are the go-to experts for paintless dent removal, whether it's hail damage, door dings, or those annoying shopping cart dings. What I love, these guys aren't just good, they're experienced. Their techs have been with them for over 20 years. That means you can trust the people working on your vehicle. They offer free evaluations, no appointment necessary, and they'll even handle everything with your insurance. That's right. You drop it off, and then they just take it from there. They're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and located right in West County. You can call them at 636-227-5050. That's 636-227-5050, or just swing by and let them know that we sent you their way. Tell Gray that we sent you their way on TMA. That's Dents Express, St. Louis's leader in hail damage repair.
This is Jackson with the Sports Center update. It's brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Tonight on 101 ESPN, you can catch the NBA Finals Game 6, where the Oklahoma City Thunder lead the series 3-2. That game will be in Indianapolis between the Thunder and Pacers. That's a 7:30 tip-off right here on 101 ESPN. That was our Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
The Graduate. Doug, as you know, one of my 3 favorite films of all time. What are the other 2?
Godfather?
Yes.
Behind the Green Door.
Not a bad guess. Marilyn Chambers, The Ivory Soup Girl.
Wet Pink?
How do you
find it.
How do you like them apples?
It's a hint.
Good Will Hunting?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
You're a little surprised by that, and maybe a little disappointed, it seems. That's my read.
For top 3. I love that movie. Yeah, it's not your fault, John.
Maybe it's a Mick thing. I don't know.
No, it's good. It's fine. It's a great... Good or bad, Jackson? I'm sorry.
Good.
Oh,
Godfather.
Yeah.
Good.
Graduate.
Good.
You notice the different pitch there, though, Doug?
That was a sequence thing. Good.
Have you even
good.
seen
good.
The Graduate? That's long ago.
For
movie.
sure.
Oh, I love that movie.
Behind the Green
A
Door.
staple of the waning days
Also
of
for a long time
Hollywood's
ago.
golden age.
Send your 3 favorite movies in, and Jackson will tell you whether or not they're good. 314
I don't want to be the arbiter of people's favorite movies.
That's your company. That's why I invested in it.
No, again,
Pre-revenue.
That's right, pre-revenue, aggressively pre-revenue. The whole point is, if in the crazy world of so many movies and stuff to watch, it's just cutting through the red tape. Is it good or is it bad?
Can you rank Dustin Hoffman movies, in your opinion, as a cinephile?
I'd probably put Graduate number 1. I love Rain Man, but I'd probably put Graduate number 1.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Tootsie.
Kramer versus Kramer is great, but it's not one you're like, oh, I'm really excited to watch Kramer versus
pack a
Kramer
lunch.
again. It's like it's like really tough. And I'm not a child of divorce, and I can only imagine what it
when
could
he
be
and the
like.
kid are making that French toast, it's oof.
Yeah, I am not a child of divorce, so
That'll
it's
make
like,
you cry like
that
a
it
Blues
still
interview.
hurts me seeing it. So it's like I can only imagine for children of
But
divorce.
well done.
Oh, incredible.
Meet the Fockers Part 2.
He's in a really cool movie that came out a couple years ago on Netflix called The Meyerowitz Stories, New and Untold, with Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller. Would highly recommend. It's on Netflix.
What about Marathon Man? He was a runner. Then he
They just did that on
tortured.
Rewatchables. I've never seen it.
All the President's Men. I've seen
So
that.
good. So good.
This guy knows film, Doug.
I think Graduate and All the President's Men would be 1, 2 for me for Dustin Hoffman movies.
Yeah,
All the President's Men is one of the most important movies of the 20th century.
Important movies.
Lee May Ace says Back to School.
Is that with Rodney Dangerfield?
And Sally Kellerman, Martin?
And that's
The voice of Hidden Valley Ranch?
So this is not a Dustin Hoffman
I was
reference.
thinking, did he play second
Sally
fiddle?
Kellerman
We have
vehicles.
now segued into somebody's just their favorite movie is Back to School, where
Yeah.
Sam Kinison was a teacher.
He was.
It'd be really tough for Dustin Hoffman if, 25 years into his career, he's playing second fiddle to Rodney Dangerfield, who's great, but certainly not a screen actor.
Thornton
legend.
Mellon?
It's correct. Isn't pre-revenue just finance bro slang for free revenue? I would bet, according to Jackson Scorsese over here, that it probably is. That's from Dougie V's BBL.
No. Yes.
I'm afraid that's what BBL stands for.
Brazilian butt lift, Martin?
Is that what it is?
I believe
great
so.
movie.
Yeah, those are getting popular.
Oh, been popular for sure.
Movies or butt lifts?
Both.
Martin, that's a new segment we're doing at the 10 o'clock
Although
hour when you go to onboarding.
If you're looking at stocks, you'd probably be going opposite directions. But both still high up there. But the BBL, yeah, it's on the rise. Oh, it's probably at its zenith. I don't know.
People are
Okay.
texting
Doug, is this the
random-
zenith of
I don't
BBL?
know. I don't know much about that industry.
I don't feel like there are a lot of BBLs in the St. Louis area, South Florida.
Could you spot it if you saw somebody?
Yeah, Jackson, can you spot him?
Sometimes a helmet nacho or two can feign a BBL, you know?
Hold on a second. I'm going to reevaluate
like
that. Sometimes a helmet nacho or two can feign a BBL.
Well, you know,
I just don't know if the use of feign was right there. I'm not saying it was wrong. I just don't know that it was right.
Well, what I'm saying is
Adds to some confusion on your part?
Well, there used to be a social media trend, hot dogs or legs, when people would take pictures of their legs by the pool. I think you could go pulled pork nachos or BBL.
Oh.
When looking at it, sometimes a behind.
I'm not up to speed in the butt lift industry.
Clip that off as well.
That off. It's a big Doug week for the drops.
Oh, feign. Pretend to be, or to pretend to be affected by? Indulge in pretense? Yeah, I don't know. Probably not the right word, but...
Guys, my friend's wife has a BBL, and it's awful. It's from the 314.
How do you know it? How do you know when you see it?
I have to tell you, I'm legitimately curious. I was listening to Pillow Talk with that Ryan Powell I was telling you about, Jackson. He had La Serena on, and she was saying that she doesn't have a BBL, or she has a BBL, but it wasn't injected with, like, what would it be, plastic? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
They took her own fat and then injected it into her butt.
I thought they take it from your back and, like, your stomach, your back and stomach area, and then just repurpose it so it both takes away from the midsection and then adds to that tush.
Ah, two birds.
Yeah. I thought that was the idea behind it. Chairman, you seem like you...
Jackson thinks you've had a BBL, Chairman.
No. I just thought...
Allow yourself to rephrase.
Yeah, I didn't have the second part of that sentence there. I thought you were kind of... You know about the BBL.
I'm aware of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Every Kardashian's had a BBL. That's from your mom's lesbian lover.
Yep.
Okay.
Mom's lesbian lover.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So to get one, you got to first start with the back fat.
I'm gonna find out for sure. I thought that was what. That was just repurposing fat.
They piped this show into the local hospitals, so
the doctors will call in.
Maybe a doctor can call in.
Doug, your mom's lesbian lover is sending in pictures of the impact of the BBL in the Kardashian family. So if you want to...
My mom's lesbian lover?
Yes, it involves liposuction to remove fat from areas like the abdomen, thighs, or flanks, which is then purified and injected into the buttocks. Promotes a more shapely and proportionate figure.
I didn't even know I had a flank.
If back fat has value, we're about to see an Arnold housing boom. Doug, that's from Arbor Day, who was won Texter of the Year in 2023 and 2024.
God, yeah, you got to put on some weight before it starts going to the back. That was nice. Everywhere else.
That was nice.
Al Stewart loved the Rams. That's what I remember.
Think Cardi B and Kardashians. Good Lord. And yes, unless they use implants, they harvest fat. Doug, you like that term, harvest fat?
I don't mind it.
From another part of the body and inject it into the buttocks. That's from Sharon and Clayton Starr, the Real Housewives of TMA.
Yeah, I never understood why anyone wanted a big fat ass. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh, you are having a huge drops of the week.
That used to be the last thing in the world a woman would want. Is a big, giant butt. Would be the last thing in the world they'd want.
How about this? Grimy from South County, autobiographical. My wife had her fat from her muffin top taken out and put into her caboose. That's Grimy from South County.
I love my ass.
Oh.
Gangs of New York is amongst the best, Tim. Fictional story, however, highly realistic. That's from the Gene Steck-Schulte's Wicked Slide piece.
How do we know it was highly realistic?
Oof. Jackson, Jackson, you can tell. Jackson's debating whether or not to espouse a take.
You like what you like.
But he wants to say more. He's fighting it. That's what he's doing. He's fighting it.
I'm going to focus on the positives. It's an outstanding Daniel Day-Lewis performance.
And you're flying to Martha's Vineyard.
Cape Cod. Yeah. One of the best DDL performances. Maybe
DDL.
not.
Don't say DDL like you know.
I just said Daniel Day-Lewis. What else would I be talking about? DDL, BBL. Come on now.
I don't know.
The National Football League. Gangs of New York. What do you think the budget was?
Oh, God, $120 million.
That's probably a nice play.
97 to 100 million.
Nice job.
What do you think the box office was, fella?
Probably 220.
I was going to go 250.
193.
Wow.
Long profit season.
Long and rated R is not a good combo for the box office.
I went in excited thinking it was going to be a really good movie, and it's just kind of an excuse to be violent.
Cameron Diaz is miscast in that.
Oh, is that right? Who should have had that role? And was it 97, Doug? 99?
No.
2001?
That sounds more.
2002.
Yeah. man, it's tough. You know, Gwyneth Paltrow would have been cool. I would have liked to see Gwyneth Paltrow.
Running time?
I'll go 181 minutes.
168.
A little under 3 hours.
Just shy of 3 hours.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
Scorsese,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was his first movie with Leo DiCaprio. They would later make The Aviator, Shutter Island, Wolf of Wall Street, Killers of the Flower Moon. Long partnership there.
It'd be tough to do a Scorsese Rushmore, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that would be his vibe.
Well, I'm saying for us to pick a top 4.
Oh, yeah.
That would be tough to do.
Jackson, I don't know if you want to sit this one out or not because they're going to be coming for you here. And I'm just warning you on the front end of it. America is voting with their remotes on this year's NBA Finals, and so far they are opting out. Monday's Game 5 between the Pacers and Thunder averaged 9.54 million viewers, down 22% from last year's Mavericks-Celtics series-deciding game. Per John Lewis of Sports Media Watch, it was the least watched NBA Finals Game 5 since the 2020 bubble, a common superlative for this year's series. Excluding the bubble season in which the finals were played in October, Monday's game was the least watched Game 5 since. Anybody want to take a guess? I don't even remember this series.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember these two teams playing.
Is it in the 21st century?
It is in the 21st century. I don't remember this series in the slightest.
It can't be the Cavs being smaller market because it's LeBron, so that's not Miami, Juice. I'm just thinking
Raptors,
big
Warriors?
Names. No, because it's the Warriors.
There's a part of me, I don't know if there is a series in the World Series, NFL Super Bowls, NBA Finals, or NHL Stanley Cup that I don't remember at all, and I do not remember this series.
Does it involve the Spurs?
It does.
Pistons, Spurs?
Nope.
Spurs.
Do I have initials
The
for
Magic?
the other team?
NJN.
Oh, yeah.
So they did play.
Yeah,
Spurs and
right,
Nets,
right.
2003, Martin.
Yeah. That was weird. That was odd.
9.31 million viewers. No other Game 5 has fallen shy of 10 million viewers since Nielsen introduced its current audience measurement methodologies in 1988. Whew. Cats and dogs.
Well, these might be the two smallest markets that have ever gone head-to-head in the finals.
Certainly in the 21st
Possibly.
century. Yeah, certainly in the 21st century.
Yeah, if your team gets in, the whole town's watching, and if your whole town is, a fraction of the size of New York, L.A., Chicago, et cetera, then you're not going to have very good ratings, probably.
But, and I think we would all agree with this, but I don't want to put words in your mouths, it also lacks star power.
That's the bigger problem.
Even though it has the MVP.
The market is way less important than star power. Cleveland is not a big market, but when LeBron James is playing, it's as big a market as you can
Cleveland's
get.
a hell of a lot bigger than Oklahoma City.
I mean, relatively.
I think Martin's about to look up market sizes.
It
TV market-wise, it's fairly bigger.
Okay. I'm just telling you, star power is way more important. Like if the Lakers, well, the Lakers or Knicks are bad examples, but big markets, like if the 76ers didn't have anybody.
What is it, T-Mobile or something that has the commercial going with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Holmgren?
Yeah,
and,
right. Yeah. Yep.
And when I saw that ad campaign, which started up before the NBA Finals, I was like, wow. I mean,
I know what you're saying. It's
like in St. Louis in 2004, Pujols, Roland Edmonds, huge. But if you were to put them on a commercial for a national campaign, it wouldn't really resonate. You do it locally, you go, oh my God, this is a home run. It also probably would put the advertiser out of business in order to have those three talents. But I was surprised when I saw that, because I was like, they may be stars, and certainly Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but he's not a household name, and he is the league MVP. I don't know if they go on a run if all of a sudden it gets there. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not like he's not like an outward personality, And I know it's weird. The length of his name is also like a tough thing. It's like it's a really, really, really long name, and SGA is a good initial thing, but it's not like there's not like that Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. These are like just one syllable a lot of times, just like, here you go. And
or at
Shea
least with
Gilgeous-Alexander.
the Greek Freak who has a tough name. You could just say Giannis, and everybody knows who you're talking
or
about.
Greek
LeBron,
Freak, yeah.
Steph,
I know it sounds weird, but I think that's a part
Shea.
of
Let's
it.
just start saying Shea.
And he kind of looks like 100 other players in the league, too. He's He's not 7'2".
Yeah, right.
He doesn't look like LeBron or Steph Curry. He doesn't have a real distinct look about him.
Can't wait for Jackie's Spin Zone to spin these ratings. That's from the Crystal City Clam Hammer.
No spin at all. I mean, I totally anticipated it. Now, if you want to show everything, the Stanley Cup numbers in the U.S. are way down as well, averaging about 2.3 million viewers per game.
Wow.
So,
but to Jackson's point, market size, New Jersey, that's a huge area, the New York area, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the star power on that team, the 2003 Nets. Tim, did you want to name the entire roster?
I would like to do that.
Okay.
Jason Williams?
No, I looked it up because I was wondering if he was still on that team. There you go. Jason Kidd. But
Vince Carter.
Keith Van Horn?
Was that pre-Vince Carter?
No, this is Chris Childs, Jason
Richard
Collins,
Jefferson?
Richard Jefferson.
Was Johnson on that team?
Yes, Anthony Johnson.
Sure.
Thank you.
Smith,
thank you,
was
Deb.
he on that team? Brown, they had a Brown or Jones?
No, sorry.
Smith, Brown.
Donnie Marshall, Kenyon Martin. Dikembe was on it.
All right.
Late period, Dikembe. Right after the Sixers, where he went to the finals with AI.
The Stanley Cup numbers. The Stanley Cup final tucked away exclusively on cable did not fare well for the NHL. Tuesday's series-clinching Game 6 between the Oil and Panthers averaged 2.8 million viewers across TNT and True TV, down 33% versus last year's Game 6 between the same two teams on ABC. Per John Lewis of Sports Media Watch, it's the least-watched Stanley Cup final Game 6 since, how about this? Anybody want to take a guess on this one?
Gee, many Christmas.
I know the information, so I will not say.
That's right. You recuse yourself. You're
Was
a
it the
gentleman.
Blues?
No.
I thought that was why.
No.
I don't.
I'd say some team other than the Blues.
I don't think you would. I think if I gave you 10 guesses, I don't think you would get it. How about that?
Small market teams again?
I'm now going to Phil Ivey mode where you will not be able to pick a teller.
And this is the lowest rated Game 6 until this one.
That's correct.
Oh, no.
Doug's is the 10, and that's kind of the scale you judge other butts off of.
Oh.
Little Plowsy interlude.
That's right. Wedding coming up Saturday.
I don't have any idea.
Rangers and Canucks. How
90,
shocking is
94?
that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a Stanley Cup that still is talked about nationally.
And this just counts the United States, right? Canadian ratings don't get figured in. Because when you put a Canadian team in there, you know, that's one big national U.S. market that you're going to lose out on.
I would tell you that even if that is the case, that in 1994, because it was the Rangers, because it had been so long for them, that was a story that went beyond the casual hockey fan. So I mean, when people talk about, if I'm not mistaken, it's June 17th, 1994, the events that took place, Arnold Palmer's final U.S. Open, the Rangers Stanley Cup parade is mentioned, along with Bob Costas introing the Knicks and Rockets for whatever game that was, the NBA Finals. And then, of course, that was interrupted by the O.J. Bronco chase. But, yeah, how big of a deal that Rangers parade is listed among that famous day in sports and American cultural history.
Have you heard the Costas story about Al Cowlings called
the
NBC,
studio, right?
And, like, nobody answered? And we've had some moments where we didn't always get right to the phones. There's a story where Al Cowlings wanted to call in and nobody was answering. I'll find it.
The series, Martin averaged 2.5 million viewers, down 40% versus last year's Stanley Cup final.
I just wonder if one of the teams being a Canadian isn't a big factor in that, because you miss out on that market. It is hard to imagine that in a country this big of 330 million people, only 2.5 million are watching the championship game of a major sport. I wonder if Netflix.
Look at I'm watching Jackson. It's so great to watch. If you zoom in on YouTube and you form your own narratives.
I was facing the other direction for that explicit purpose. I wasn't saying anything.
So I started with the NBA thing. I rope-a-doped them in, and then I delivered the Stanley Cup news, and now there's crickets.
Yeah, doff. It was, I just very briefly.
Doff.
I think hockey, maybe more than the other sports, when your team is out, the season's kind of over.
Yeah.
Because I know I was like that for years. As soon as the Blues were out of the playoffs, hockey season was over for me. I'm more into it now than I used to be.
Sure.
But I wonder if that's not the case for a lot of teams and a lot of cities and fan bases around the league, is that once their team gets eliminated, they kind of move on to baseball or something else.
Just a brief aside. Doug, just a moment ago, hit the wrong button when he did the cough button, and it went to my headphone.
Oh, what button is that? I'll do that again.
So for a second, it felt like Doug was right on my shoulder, coughing in my ear. Like I stopped hearing everything else but Doug coughing. And it was nice.
Is
you
it
know?
the green button?
No, it's the white button, I believe.
I always hit the white button.
Not that time you didn't.
Because usually Mike Ryder gets sniped.
Mike Ryder, it's all he
on
hears.
the other side of the glass. We hit a button and go, and it goes right into him.
It's like the audio spittoon.
It's because the finals were on TNT versus a major network. That's from Joe Boo's Jockstrap.
If you want to watch the game, you'll find it.
Bingo, Doug.
I mean, with YouTube TV, I don't even know what channel I'm watching. It just shows me what's on, and I just click on it.
I mean, YouTube TV presents the NBA
Right.
Finals. Like that's how that's how it is. Yeah, and also to be fair, totally, but both for NBA and NHL, there's a lot of other metrics that might not have been there 10, 15 years ago that are also super important. Engagement on social media, streaming numbers that are very important now outside of just linear TV ratings. So that doesn't paint the full picture.
People are saying the NHL should wrap up things by Memorial Day.
Wouldn't that mean starting a lot earlier, running into football season for longer? Like if the front half
series.
Well, if you start the regular season earlier, you're up against football for a lot longer, and I don't think they want that.
How about the first round? You just do rocks, paper, scissors with like
draw lots,
and then you just move on.
You can give your thoughts at youtube.com/TMASTL. That's the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. And you, of course, are welcome to text in to the program 314-399-9646 to get involved on the program. 100 West Dental is a loyal sponsor of TMA. That's Dr. Brandon Pryor and his team at 100 West Dental. They're located on Manchester in Baldwin, 100westdental.com. Mention my name, and you get $1,000 off Invisalign at 100 West Dental. I know plenty of people go, I just don't want to go into the dentist. Well, here's the deal. Dental health impacts the rest of the body's health. So really poor dental health can cause health problems in other parts of the body. Get checked up, get taken care of, especially at a place that has all the latest technology. You walk in there to 100 West Dental, and you are not thinking you are in a dentist's office. It looks incredibly updated with new technology that separates 100 West Dental from the rest. 100westdental.com. Give them my name, and you get $1,000 off Invisalign at 100 West Dental with Dr. Brandon Pryor. That's 100westdental.com. They're located on Manchester in Baldwin. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne, Jackie Papers is on the ones and twos before he heads to the Northeast tonight for a little vacation. He'll be back with us on Tuesday. Chairman Kurt will be running the board tomorrow and Monday. This program is called TMA, and it's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. Tim McKernan here for Stewart's American Mortgage. Stewie gives out his personal cell phone for you to access him anytime. 314-324-4440, or you can Google the Bagel Loan if you are someone who is looking to purchase a home or refinance, or if you are looking to consolidate some of your ugly credit card debt. Maybe you don't know exactly what direction to go to do any of these things. Well, let me make it easy for you. Call Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. He's going to help you every step of the way. If it's a new home you're looking to purchase, he's going to get you to the closing table fast. Try 10 days, and he will get you the best interest rate possible. And he also has the Bagel Loan that can help you out as well. What is the Bagel Loan? If you borrow $200,000 or more, there's no underwriting fees, no appraisal fees, no title fees, no lender fees, and no closing costs. Stewie is your guy, and he makes it easy. Any questions on rates, the industry, the trends, give Stewie a call. Call him directly on his personal cell phone at 314-324-4440, or you can Google the Bagel Loan. Any reason for this one, or you're just playing songs you like?
He's Canadian, and we just talked about the Stanley Cup.
Nice.
It works. It was as good as any explanation.
Okay.
You don't like Heart of Gold? Come on now.
Oh, I love Heart of Gold.
Martin,
Harvest?
it's segment 9-3 on the Stiefel dossier.
I think it's 9-2 though for us.
9-2 is just a blank canvas for you to paint whatever you want, but I want to make sure we got
9-2 does appear to be wide open.
Yeah, it's
but here's the thing. In fair, we talked about this on the podcast yesterday, QFTA, and what is the title of that episode, Jackson?
I agree, dumbass. I saw a tweet the other day of some guy giving the take, and the commenter commented, "I agree, dumbass." And I just thought that's where we're at in 2025.
We are, where you can even agree with somebody, but you still call them a dumbass. But clearing the deck. But the thing about the Stiefel dossier is there's a good chance that whatever Jackson puts together, I'm just going to go wherever.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So putting 9-2 as a blank, hey.
Yeah, free parking.
Free parking. It's free parking space.
8-3 was wide open. However, I'm not mad at you.
No, of course not.
In your defense, you did have segment 8-1 as #ThisLeague.
Oh, it is.
And we didn't really get to that.
Well, yeah, we did. We talked about the Lakers.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Cardinals Corner.
Bing,
but
it says
nothing there.
Cardinals Corner just says, "Let's play two, fellas."
Not much to say on that one.
That'll get you a good 10-minute segment, right?
That implies light vamping. That's what that means. But here in clearing the deck, Martin, I know you love clearing the deck more than anything. It's Jackie B. Papers MLB logistic questions. All right, little Papers, you're headed to the Northeast and vacationing with the elites. Before you go and you look down on all of us in flyover country who love the game of hockey, why don't you ask us your 4 MLB logistic questions?
So here's my thought process behind this. Since you guys have a lot of experience covering baseball, both with the team, on the radio, on television, wherever it may be, I figured you guys might have some answers, and if you don't, I'll save it for whoever Cardinal we have on next week, and we'll ask them. So I think it'll work out.
Is it about Wayno time?
I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow, and I'll relay that to the listeners. If a pitcher is throwing a day game the next day, do they stay and watch that game that night, or do they leave early for extra sleep?
Like in the playoffs, they'd fly him home a day ahead of time.
I would say more often than not, it's the latter.
That they're going home early. Like, do you think you stay? Would it be like bad form to stay for like 3 or 4 innings and then go home?
I would be shocked, for example, Martin, Sonny Gray's getting the ball tomorrow against the Reds. If Sonny Gray is at the ballpark for all of the games all 2 of the games against the White Sox today.
Got it. Just to get them that so that the routine doesn't change based on the day game.
So if they had played last night, Sonny Gray had pitched, and then Fetty was due in the day game today, I believe. Fetty would just head back to the hotel like 3rd or 4th inning.
Okay. That makes sense.
More than likely.
All
Got to get your rest.
All right. Now, listen close to me on number 2 here.
Okay.
Let's say the team plays Sunday afternoon at home. They have an off day Monday, and then they have a Tuesday night game on the road. When do you think they typically would leave for that road game on Tuesday night?
Monday morning?
Depends on the city.
Okay.
But I would say almost always like Monday afternoon because they want to go home Sunday night, hang out at the pool, barbecue, drink. Yeah. Monday, sleep in a little bit, do some errands.
Right.
I'd say Monday, meet at the airport at 2 o'clock or wherever.
Got it.
But if they're going to L.A., San Diego, hey, maybe we should just shoot on out of here Sunday, beat traffic. Hey, we're going to Cleveland on Tuesday. Yeah, Monday afternoon's good. I think the players vote on that. Yeah. If not, the manager picks it.
I would agree with that.
But it tends to be where they're headed.
All right, this one's interesting here, number 3.
Okay.
If a starter who's pitching that night is taking a nap in the clubhouse, like that's part of their routine, is the onus on everyone else to try to stay quiet for that starter?
No.
The hell's this one coming from?
I've heard from a player.
It sounds like all these guys are prissy little schoolgirls who need to go and get their nappy poo. Come on, you're grown adult males in your absolute athletic prime. You can tough it out.
Says the guy who wants to, like, what happens if my phone dies with a ticket on it?
That's absolutely totally different apples and oranges argument. Terrible argument. If you're a 27-year-old professional athlete, I would hope you could get through the day without getting your nappy poo and everyone else has to be quiet around you. Give me a break.
It's less about the nap and more about the routine, I thought.
I don't think a lot of start, unless it's a doubleheader where they've got a few hours to shut her down. I think if that night's starting pitcher is over there napping, I'm a little concerned about their ability to go and get out.
I don't know. I think I've heard. I'm going to save this one for whoever we have on next week. I'm going to ask him about.
If a guy is napping in the clubhouse, that everybody goes shh, like the baby's sleeping.
Maybe like
please not.
Maybe if they're in the training room and they're taking a nap on one of the trainer beds, then like maybe they're quiet in the training room. Like walk lightly in the training room if you need to grab some tape or something. I don't know. I'm asking you guys.
No.
I don't think there's a whole lot of napping by the starting pitcher that night.
I think you're off on.
Okay.
I want to call attention to the fact that Jackson prefaced this nap question with, quote, "This is an interesting one."
No, I'm saving this one for whoever we have on next week.
Has it ever happened? Sure.
No, but I think
I don't think it's a routine.
These are the 3 worst questions I've ever heard consecutively.
Well, wait, there's one
Crystal
more.
City Glam.
There's one more. I like this. I like this one a lot.
Okay, so you're going to stand firm that it's ever happened or that it's common
I think
practice?
a lot of starters take a nap before they throw.
They came from home at 2 in the afternoon, got to the park at 2:30, and they're going to go watch some video of the opposing hitters, maybe meet with the pitching coach, get out and get.
I'm not saying they're like putting on their gown and like honk shoe. I think it's like for 20 minutes I'm going to rest my eyes on the training table. Well, regardless.
Clayton Kershaw takes a 1-hour nap on the training table.
Oh man, he's no good.
Doug.
How Shohei Ohtani also likes a 2-hour nap.
Oh, Shohei Ohtani, the $700 million man.
Don't they sleep at night? How soft are these guys? I have to have a
on
nap.
the training table.
Thank you, Chairman.
You're welcome.
I bet Willie Mays didn't need his little nappy time.
Bob Gibson took a nap.
No.
And if he did,
no.
I wouldn't wake him up.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like some of the ornery, like if
Why
Madison,
is everyone so tired?
if Bumgarner takes a nap before the game and he's at his peak, and you're not going to like start screaming next to Mad Bum.
Well, there's a difference in screaming and plus in the clubhouse there's chairs there. There's no place to take a nap.
On the floor.
I don't think they're lying down on the floor.
The old
to take a
Wrigley
nap.
Field visiting locker room.
I guess
on
there's
that
a
cement.
couch. There's a couch, but it would be rude on the part of the guy taking a nap to think that this clubhouse is all mine. I'm going to sleep now. Everyone else better
dim the lights in the clubhouse. I'm tempted to text Wainwright. I wonder if actually the skipper would respond more quickly.
Why are they so tired?
I think it's the routine thing. All right, my final one.
Oh, there's 4.
It's a 4-piece. Can starters who are not pitching that day choose to hang out in the bullpen instead of hanging out in the dugout?
I think yes.
Probably
so.
Can. How often do we see it?
I don't think
I don't think
seen
you'd want to.
I don't know. It seems like the vibes are pretty good out there in the arm barn.
Doug, do you like that? Arm barn?
You know.
But the bathroom's right around the corner if you're in the dugout.
Sure. Is there not a little door there in the bullpen where you can use the bathroom?
Probably somewhere out there.
Yeah.
But there's probably more food to nibble on there in the clubhouse if you want to run back there.
Or take a nap.
I did hear a former MLB player say that like it is frowned upon to like be hanging out in the clubhouse while the game is going on if you're not playing that day. To like just be sitting back there eating.
Yeah, probably so.
This is the worst last 5 minutes of my life. That's from the Big Show.
It only gets better from here.
I have a question for Jackson.
Ooh, I am taking questions.
Where was this list yesterday when we had a big league pitcher on named Steven Matz, and we were sort of struggling with questions? Where was this yesterday?
You're right.
We could have peppered Matzy with these questions.
Johnny come lately is who I am.
Because we did get him offered a hot dog in the bullpen. So we had kind of like bullpen-related questions.
I guess I could see how some of these guys could be tired if they just traveled all night, had one of those things where they got into town at 2 in the morning. And maybe then. But if it's a normal night where you're home at 11:30 or midnight and sleeping till 8 or 9 or 10, you shouldn't be taking a nap again at 2, should you?
It might be as much as part of the mental preparation as the physical, Doug.
Like a little Zen moment?
Or superstition, like they did it one time and then had a great outing, and now they're going to do it for the rest of their career.
But really, back to question 3 during segment 9-3, but we're in 9-2. Right. Your question was, if a starter's taking a nap in the clubhouse before their start, does everyone try to stay quiet?
Right.
And that answer, I believe, is a firm no.
I didn't realize that there'd be some pushback on the nap thing. So that's that I underestimated. Or else I would have just asked, do starters take naps?
Have you been in a major league clubhouse?
No, only
Not counting spring training.
not only the spring training one.
Okay.
No.
Now that's where they probably at 7 a.m. having to show up there and let everybody know I'm
But
here
then you
for
have like 3 times as many guys in there.
yeah,
you
I'm
know?
here for duty, and they're all just sitting around on their phones playing video games and eating.
Now, when the media is allowed in there, that is when the clubhouse clears out.
I did notice that.
That'd be a
So
good
if you
one.
wanted to take a nap, the time would be when they let the media in.
What if a media member woke you up from
Hey, buddy.
Are you asleep? You
How you
asleep?
doing?
You push him. Are you asleep?
Hey,
wakey?
Hey, the guys, I don't know if you saw, we're set up outside there, and we've had a lot of guys come on. We were hoping. Oh, I'm sorry, are you sleeping?
Doug, baseball players wear cups so they don't need a bathroom if you can just fill the cup with your brine. That's from the Dogtown Astrovan.
That's a poor take. It's a really poor take.
Borderline suspension worthy.
Absolutely poor take.
Martin, before you head to onboarding and you say farewell to your alliance partner for the next couple of shows as Papers heads to Cape Cod, I think this is a tease that's going to rope you in. A high-profile sports media personality is making a bit of a career change this weekend.
Ooh.
We'll tell you who
This weekend.
and what they're doing. That's coming up next. It's TMA, presented by Brown and Crouppen, 101 ESPN. Nah, Doug. What is this song about?
It's a good question.
Pitchers napping before they head to the mound.
Maybe stay awake.
You enjoyed the gentle percussion? Teet, teary, teet, teet, teary, teet,
Was
teet.
Paul's birthday yesterday?
That's right.
This is a
83.
solo piece by Paul. I'm reading about the meaning right now, Tim.
And what are you getting?
About civil rights troubles in this in 1960s South and U.S.
All right.
Yeah. It's what in 2018 he kind of talked about that. Might be my favorite Beatles song.
Mount Rushmore of Beatles songs. Go.
I like
This
that
one-
Rubber Soul album.
Is Hey Jude too chalky?
No, not if it's your favorite one.
Okay, Blackbird, Hey Jude, Eleanor Rigby. And give me Twist and Shout. A little Ferris Bueller.
Phew.
Give me a little Twist and Shout.
Very displeased with
Too
that
chalky?
selection.
Too chalky? Too chalky?
Oh, now Martin's vomiting.
Emoji to you.
Do I have to pick something off like Sgt. Pepper?
Go deep tracks.
I just looked up the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, and Chairman Kurt is in there, and he just said F the Beatles.
Yeah, you've had this take.
Gosh.
My dad loves Chairman Kurt. He hates when you say F the Beatles. Like, it really
I'm
bothers
a
him.
big proponent of some people, some things, so I'm fine with other people liking them, but it's an instant change for me if a Beatles song comes on.
How about that?
I'm not quite there with you, Kurt, but I'm not a huge Beatles guy, and I've offended my friends that are Beatle nuts. And I said, I kind of like that Wings material from Paul McCartney better. And they said, oh, my God. Oh, you're the worst. But some people like some things.
Well, with the Beatles, it's been 60 years of hearing the songs now. People are perhaps ready to turn the page.
Not me.
Listen to something new. No, it's still outstanding.
Yeah.
Paperback
Groundbreakers,
Writer. I like that song.
It could be that we've just heard it so much
Get
that
back.
it gets to be too much.
JoJo.
What the hell are we doing? Get your ass to Cape Cod, pal, and give KG the keys. That's from Moistest Aloo. Hashtag possible burner.
We are doing a radio show. What say you, bro?
Little Jackie Papers loved that rascal puff. I deep teased this before the segment. A high-profile sports media member is switching careers for this weekend. And he guesses.
And this isn't like Michael Strand's going to do the evening news or something
No,
for
it's
a
not
day.
like a gimmicky sweeps.
They might need initials.
But they're
AS.
only doing it briefly.
That's correct.
AS.
So they're going to manage a ball club or something.
Al Smith. Abraham Zapruder. No, that was a Z. The second letter, first name.
D.
Adrian
Smed.
Smith. Adrian Smed? Smed, S-M-E-D. It's a weird name. And the third letter, please, Tim.
A.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Schefter.
Yes.
Oh,
Adam Schefter is going to host Sports Center.
Adam Schefter is covering the PGA Tour's Travelers Championship this week. He is covering Rory McIlroy and Keegan Bradley's group, which just teed off. He says, quote, "It's going to be fun to get out of my cage and do something I'm not used to. As much as I love my job, and I love the challenge of being able to experience something new. I did about a half dozen NBA games, sideline reporter before the pandemic. It's invigorating and refreshing."
It's at River Highlands, right, which is in Connecticut, which would stand to reason if he's in Bristol, right? Doesn't it
suppose.
seem like the logic there? I don't know if he lives in Bristol. I don't know.
why? I don't know either.
Let's go down to Adam Schefter on the 12th fairway. Guys, I'm hearing that Jerry Jones is looking to trade the fourth pick. Adam, this is golf. Oh, that's right. Well, good for him.
He debated doing the Truist Championship last month in Philadelphia, but determined it was too soon after the NFL draft and took a rain check. He looked at the schedule, and the Travelers, which is played at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut, isn't too far away from the headquarters of the worldwide leader in sports in Bristol. He was even able to appear in studio at ESPN on Wednesday, so that was the reason why he decided to go ahead and do it.
All right. Is that going to make you watch more of the tournament? Probably not.
No, my bet on Davis Riley will, though.
Okay.
TPC River Highlands, of course, in 2016, where Jim Furyk shot 58.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, with that weird swing.
Is that the record now?
I think for a PGA, for a PGA tournament record.
Best Beatles songs ranked by fans.
Ooh.
Yesterday's got to be in there.
By the fans. This is on Ranker.
I would think Hey Jude is one. I guess I'm wrong.
I bet Twist and Shout is way up
Hey
there.
Jude is number 10. This is a ranker.com. They're pretty good, ranker.com. And this is by the fans. So we have one of the 10. I'll get top 10. Hey Jude is number 10. What did you say, Doug?
Yesterday.
Yesterday is number 4.
Come Together?
Imagine.
That's just
That's a
Lennon.
John Lennon vehicle. Come Together, no.
I was about to say, I would guess Come Together would not be in the top 10.
Let It Be?
Let It Be's got to be.
Let It Be is number 5.
Nice. How are we missing number 1?
Well, can we have initials, please, for number 1?
ADITL.
ITL. All day it's Tim's life.
Got out of bed. Had to come. A day in the life. A day in the life. According to the fans at ranker.com. Strawberry Fields Forever, number 2. In My Life, number 3.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds?
Yesterday, number 4. Let It Be, number 5.
Here Comes the Sun.
Eleanor Rigby, number 6. Something, number 7. Here Comes the Sun, number 8.
Yes.
Penny Lane, number 9.
Yeah.
Hey Jude, number 10. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, 11. Help is number 12. Blackbird just played on this random Jackie Papers Thursday.
Yeah, the farewell edition.
13. Come Together, 14. I Want to Hold Your Hand, 15. I don't like that really early poppy stuff, but there you go. Ranker.com.
Can I do the same thing with Michael Jackson, please, Martin?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be number 1 on the Martin? The Michael
number
Jackson.
1?
Do
You think it would be
Beat It?
Thriller?
Or no? Thriller, yeah. Because you got
I
a
don't know
Billie
if
Jean.
Thriller.
right up there.
Thriller's got the video. I feel like Billie Jean
Billie
might be.
Jean,
I'm going to go Billie Jean.
I'm with
I'm
you.
not going to allocate a large percentage of the bankroll, which obviously is depleted because of the cash calls.
I'm with you.
The
on that.
80-plus best Michael Jackson songs
This is on Ranker.
of all time. This is Ranker. And the last one said fans. I'm assuming these are all fans. But number 1 is Billie Jean.
Yes, Jackson shipped it.
Hi, baby.
Number 2, I'm going to disagree with.
Bad?
Unless I think it was covered and popular.
Smooth Criminal?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great beat. I'm surprised though it would be 2.
Number 2.
You're talking about Alien Ant Farm's version.
That's what it was. Number 3 is Thriller. Number 4, Beat It. Number 5, a little more of a ballad.
Will You Be There from the Free Willy soundtrack?
No. I'm looking. Man in the Mirror is number 5.
Oh, Man in the Mirror, Doug.
Okay.
How do you do?
And then you got to go a little old school, and you can kind of picture.
Off the Wall?
No, you can picture Elaine dancing.
Oh, with the little kicks?
Was it the Way You Make Me Feel? Didn't they use that in Seinfeld? Was that the
Did they?
Am I on the wrong song?
I didn't really care for that song, but I know it's
Rock
super
With
popular.
You, number 7.
That's kind of the jam.
Catchy.
She's Out of My Life. Did that get in there? Maybe that
Number
wasn't.
8 was bad. Oh, here's the Seinfeld one was this one. Number 9, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Seinfeld montage.
Yep.
Black or White, 10. Michael Jackson, according to ranker.com. Billie Jean, Smooth Criminal, surprising at number 2. Gets people talking. Thriller, Beat It, Man in the Mirror, The Way You Make Me Feel, Rock With You, Bad, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and then Black or White. All of this, a reminder, the Cardinals were rained out yesterday.
Doug, my number 1 is PYT. That's from Tim's Toothless Bottom.
That is a good one. Number 15 on this list.
Tim, you were a child and
I wore a Thriller jacket, is what Jackson's getting to.
And took a beating at school because of it, right?
It was clear that it wasn't welcome back for a second day.
You were a teen in the late 80s. Was there anybody in your age range who was like, no, I'm a bigger Prince fan than a Michael Jackson fan?
No.
Really? Everyone, it was like Michael Jackson through and through?
Yeah.
Okay. What
is your...
Well, I thought that they kind of had like a mini kind of...
That's my understanding is the way the story is told now.
Right.
But I mean, my whole world was 6'3", 109, so it's not like it's a great sample size. But it was all Michael Jackson. Now, don't get me wrong. We were fans of Prince. Doug, what do you enjoy? Little Red Corvette, Let's Go Crazy, 1999, Purple Rain, You're Slow Dancing,
Okay.
I'm in a basement off Itasca.
Yeah, I'm going to recreate the album cover, just me topless, staring at the camera.
Bill.
It sounds like a horror movie, A Basement Off Itasca. Who knows what could happen there?
How many
Heavy
kids?
petting is the answer.
Tim, you could have always listened to You Are Not Alone when you were feeling kind of sad.
My, when I would come home from bussing tables at Pietro's and
you
all
were.
my friends were out
Ironically, you were
enjoying their high
alone.
school years.
Ironically, you
I was
were
making
alone
$23.
listening to You Are Not Alone.
Timmy, you got to get a job. The hell? I'm 13.
These bush lights aren't paying for themselves.
Where the hell's Dirty Diana?
Oh.
Not happy with Martin's right. These aren't Martin's right.
It's just all subjective.
Dirty
Whatever you
Diana,
like, that's the number one song.
at number 20. Leave Me Alone is 22. Not familiar with that one. Scream, Another Part of Me.
Oh, I didn't enjoy that.
Blame It on the Boogie.
I like the name of that.
Say.
With Paul McCartney. And now
ties it
full
all
circle.
together. The Girl Is Mine, 34.
With Paul McCartney. And
That's
now
too
full
low.
circle.
Somebody's watching me. Rockwell.
But that was Rockwell. They're counting that as a
he
Michael
must have
Jackson.
written it. I don't know.
And he only did it because Rockwell was Barry Gordy's like son or nephew or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like high profile Michael Jackson. All of a sudden he's on this random song.
There's weird instances like that where it's like, what happened? Someone lose a bet. Why are they on
why
this
are they on
song?
it?
There's a couple of Drake songs where I'm like, who is this? Like, who's featuring Drake here? Who is this person?
The film they made of the behind the scenes and rehearsals for MJ's last tour is really good. It's called This Is It. Really shows just how talented he was. It's a shame he's dead and all the scandals. That's from Sharon and Clayton.
It's a nice
It
little
is
outro.
a shame that he just seemed to lose his mind there at the end.
I have
So
seen.
you say at the end, but I want to remind you that he took Emmanuel Lewis to the 1984 Grammys as his date.
And then later a live
monkey
ape.
Right.
Yeah.
That movie that Sharon Clayton just referenced was like my first introduction to Michael Jackson.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah. I mean, that was 2009 when he died. Yes.
So you never wore a Thriller jacket to grade school?
No Thriller jackets. Although I did get, after he died, I got really into his music. I didn't really know much about him before that.
Farrah Fawcett first, then Michael Jackson.
That same day,
Billy
June
Mays.
of 2009, man.
Billy Mays and Steve McNair right around there, too.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Guys, the best Michael Jackson song is the one from Free Willy. Thanks, through.
Tim mentioned that earlier.
I like that one.
Will you be there?
I love Free Willy.
You can email in with regards to your Michael Jackson and Beatles rankings the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. Martin is heading to onboarding in 52 minutes. Jackson is headed to Cape Cod. Doug, you and I, we're just meat and potatoes, guys.
That's right.
And we want to be.
We don't go
here.
nowhere.
Someone said you're going to a farm wedding this weekend?
Yeah, Doug and I are going to a farm wedding this weekend, now that you mention it. I'm going to Quincy on Friday and a farm wedding on
You are meat and
Saturday.
potatoes.
Decade ago, I was going to the AVNs.
No pews, just bales of hay to sit on.
Email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for that design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day, which will come your way here in about 40 minutes. The program's called TMA. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN.
This is Action Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplexus. Just in per ESPN, Real Madrid and French forward Kylian Mbappe has been hospitalized and is undergoing treatment for acute gastrinitis, the club said on Thursday. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Doug, do you prefer this version or do you prefer alien ant farms?
I don't really know the difference. I'll go for this one.
I think it's the right choice.
Polo G, Chicago rapper, did a version of this song too. Pretty good.
How would you like to rank them?
I'm not going to rank them. That would be unfair to their spouses.
Alien Ant Farm version, so I'll listen to that. And I can rank.
TMA 101 ESPN. The program is presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. And we are in the 10 o'clock hour. Little Jackie Papers heading out tomorrow. But flying out tonight, he will not be in tomorrow or Monday. Chairman Kurt will be in. And Jackson is going to Sweet Kai's wedding. Doug and I are going to the Plowhawks wedding. Doug is performing the nuptials. And you plan to make it about you said.
Yeah, it's always about me. I don't care if the bride has looked forward to this moment for her entire life. I intend to make it about me.
You wear a white
and I
suit.
think that's fair. Yeah. There may not even be a ring ceremony if I'm not involved.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That Sports Center update gave me acute gastroenteritis.
Yeah, I'd struggle with that pronunciation of that ailment. But, hope for a speedy recovery for Mr. Mbappe. 10 shirt.
I just had kind of an eye-opening moment, if I could share this. I saw a guy on TV, a baseball highlight, guy make a big throw from the outfield, and I thought, I really like watching outfielders that have, big arms, make these long throws. It's
Dick Ankiel.
Yeah. But then I thought, why, with the possible exception of Ankiel, why are almost all of the big outfield arms right-handed? You rarely see a left-handed guy with a huge arm from the outfield. Ankiel had one. Yeah. Not many others. Darryl Strawberry, maybe. So I looked it up. I went to the Google machine, and I said, what are the best left-handed throwing arms? And AI immediately spit out Bo Jackson, Ichiro, and Ronald Acuna, all right-handed throwers. So the lesson is AI is wrong, dead wrong.
Wow, but that's short.
So
your NVIDIA stock now.
Yeah, so every time you Google something and just count on AI, know that sometimes it's just flat wrong.
When you said that immediately, I thought, is Bo Jackson left-handed? I was like, no, he's definitely right-handed.
Yes. Yeah. Ichiro, Acuna.
Is it because if you've got a big left-handed arm, they're more likely to try to turn you into a pitcher?
Yeah, that was my thought. That's what I figured. Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, but the bigger point for me was that don't trust AI. It's wrong. It's dead wrong. You look for a fact, and you just kind of assume that this is from AI. It must be right.
Jim Edmonds was left-handed. That's from Joe Boo's jockstrap.
He had a very good arm, very accurate arm. I don't think it was he had the gun that Bo Jackson had, or Ichiro, or Acuna, but it was awfully good.
Those throws from Ankiel from the track out in Coors was one of the coolest highlights I remember seeing.
Yeah, it was.
Troy Gloss deking him out at the bag.
Two of them, same game.
Yeah, that was sick. You're welcome to share your thoughts by texting in 314-399-9646. Watch the program, participate in the chat at youtube.com/TMA. STL. That is how you can watch the program and participate in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. And, of course, you can email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. Ryan Whitney on Spittin Chiclets. Doug, I was listening to this episode yesterday, as a matter of fact. He said we might be on the threshold of something special in Sunrise, Florida, as if back-to-back championships isn't something special, but even more special. Says they're one of the greatest teams he has seen.
I will admit, openly, it wasn't even close. Game 1, they're down 3-1. The Panthers hadn't blown a lead like that under Maurice in the playoffs. They somehow come back and win that one. Game 2 was actually probably the best overall game the Oilers played. They actually had the lead after the first period, 3-2, but Marchand, the legend. Game 3, waxed. Game 4, getting waxed. Second period was their best period in the play in maybe the playoffs for the Oilers. Game 5, waxed. Game 6, waxed. So let's let's not sit here and think that I even think this was a close series. It wasn't. But I don't want to forget the fact that the Oilers ran through the West. They definitely had a harder run to get there than the Panthers did, in my opinion. This is a great team. This is the second best team in the NHL. It just so happens that the Florida Panthers are that heads and shoulders above the rest of the league.
I hit the goal post.
Yeah, off the post. Otherwise, I would have had another goal.
Well, it's oftentimes you get to the championship round of a playoff series and one team dominates the other. It doesn't necessarily mean they're the best team that's ever come down the pike. Just things went their way. Very good team, obviously. Great team. One of the best ever. I don't know that you could crown them that yet. I mean, they barely got through the first round against Toronto. Barely.
I mean, I have an appreciation for the Lightning, even though that's recent history. I don't know how in about 5 years we will look back on the Panthers. Of course, what they do in 26, 27, 28 factors into that. But, yeah, listen to those guys, man. They were raving about the Panthers and the depth. And then going into the Oilers, they might have two of the best in the game, the best tandem going in the game, but the best tandem can only do so much when they can only play so many minutes, with that, which then got into the conversation about Connor McDavid possibly leaving Edmonton. How about that, Doug? Take a listen to this.
McDavid, he has to win a Stanley Cup. Like, if he doesn't win a Stanley Cup, like, things are a lot different. Like, money's not different, fame's not different, but in his heart, it'll be different. If he were to go on and leave the Edmonton Oilers, being a former player, I wouldn't hate him. Like, you have the right. You really do. It would crush me. It would crush Oilers fans. I would not be somebody who hates him. I would end up being pretty disgusted, though, if he doesn't tell them. Because he knows if he's going to leave, probably in the next month or so, right? If he knows, he has to tell them. Like, hey, I'm out. And they have to trade him and try to get something. It's disgusting to say it. I've never really felt this way. This loss is just, maybe it's just the heartbreak of it all and like how fresh it is, but I've never felt like he was going to leave. And then seeing him last night, it's just like, maybe this guy is just like, I'm not going to be able to do it here and I got to get a cup. So this next month is going to be a wild ride.
Doug, what if Connor McDavid heads out?
And what's his current contract situation?
He is up after next year.
Yeah. Well, if he's like every other player in the league, every other player in sports, he'll try to get the best deal he possibly can, wherever that might be.
Bleacher Report has posted their 7 likely landing spots for Connor McDavid.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Do you want to see if he can...
Sounds so excited.
I'm just going to go to the big markets. Rangers.
Yes.
Toronto.
No.
The Kings.
No, I'm sorry. The Leafs were the first one. And also, in fairness, the Oilers are listed as one of them, so that's only fair.
Okay.
So you've got Edmonton, we've got Toronto, we've got the Rangers, you said the Kings. The Kings are not listed.
Vegas.
Vegas is listed.
Yeah.
What about the Blackhawks?
Blackhawks are listed.
Boy, he'd make a difference there. I mean, they've just been awful the last couple of years. Just awful.
They would have to show a real sign of getting something going this year, I think, before he hitches his wagon to that operation.
Yeah.
I'm going to Chicago. Stand up.
How about Washington?
Nope.
Montreal?
Nope.
Okay. I need
Boston,
initials.
Chicago, Pittsburgh, Vegas, Rangers, Leafs, Oil. The St. Louis Blues not listed as an option for Connor McDavid at the moment. At the moment.
Boy, how cool would that be?
Would you watch games then?
More. Which means if I watched 2, that would be a real...
Oh.
But I would.
They would be crushed in Edmonton to lose him.
Oh, for sure.
Have they ever lost a great player?
Gretzky.
Oh.
But at least before that,
Messier.
they won, right? They won a couple.
Gretzky won 4 chalices in his career.
All with Edmonton?
Yes.
Relax.
Didn't they?
They got one with the Kings.
They got one with the Kings over L'Habitant.
93.
Am I right? Or they lose to the L'Habitant?
There's no way.
What we're going to do is we're going to look that up tonight.
No, don't trust AI. We've proven that they...
And we will get that information. We'll have a show prep meeting for the first time. And we'll come up with the answer for you. And we'll have that tomorrow for you at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Well, I hope Gretzky is successful as he was. I hope he didn't have any tax problems. But if he did, he could have called Mark Milton, who is the IRS penalty killer. If you're currently sideways with the IRS, maybe you just didn't bother to file a return. Milty says a lot of people do that. They just simply don't file a return, thinking the IRS never going to catch me, and then 4 or 5 years down the road, they're knocking on your door, and then you got big problems. You might even be in an IRS criminal investigation. That's serious stuff. If so, you contact STL tax lawyer Mark Milton at stltaxlawyer.com, and he'll take care of you. Mark Milton and stltaxlawyer.com provide a local and holistic approach to tax resolution. Mark started his legal career with the Department of Justice Tax Division in Washington, where he represented the IRS in tax cases throughout the country and even received the DOJ's Outstanding Trial Attorney Award. And now Mark helps individuals and small businesses right here in St. Louis solve their tax problems. So if you have any kind of IRS issue, contact Mark Milton at stltaxlawyer.com today, and you'll be saying, I'm not guilty, I'm with Milty. Remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
There it is, longtime sponsor, Mark Milton of TMA, online at stltaxlawyer.com. This program is called TMA, and it's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Michael's Flooring is online at igotfloor.com. Michael's has been family and locally owned for over 30 years. Michael takes pride in helping and making sure his employees are happy and make a great living. You can go online, and right now you can get 3 samples free from Proximity Mills. That's igotfloored.com. Michael's passion is flooring, and when you order from him, he wants you to have the best experience for the best price. That's why, again, he's making sure he gets the best carpet installers and give him $7 a square yard, which is awesome compensation in this industry. Just come in or talk to him, and you're going to see the difference. They want to make sure they suggest the best thing for you, not just pushing what corporate is telling them they have too much of. There is a reason that Michael's Flooring and Michael have continued to grow through the 31 years that they've owned it. Employees love working for him as they feel like family, and he makes sure they are taken care of. And this then rubs off to the families buying the product, as they know they have the best interest of the buyers at heart. They have it all, but carpet is awesome, and it's back. They have so many varieties of all flooring and have 3 easy-to-get-to locations in St. Louis. That's in Creve Coeur, Darden Prairie, and St. Peters. Come see why people are loving getting floored by Michael, and make sure you visit igotfloor.com. To Michael Jackson, 10 o'clock hour?
Yeah, might as well be.
Is that right?
Sure.
Okay.
You ever sing this in the mirror, Doug?
You know what? I have not. I never owned a red jacket either.
What are you trying to say?
Did you wear a glove to grade school when you had the red jacket on?
I would have. They just couldn't find one tiny enough.
Couldn't find the glove.
Pincer friendly.
Yeah, that's what my parents looked for, a pincer-friendly white diamond glove to wear to St. Gabriel's, and they hadn't had them made.
So did you walk into class with the jacket on, or?
Schoolyard. Tough scene. Tough scene.
They were immediately there to greet you and start parading you?
You got to understand something about St. Gabriel in the 1980s. There was a gentleman who was able to drive to school in 7th grade.
Oh, no. Oh.
So a guy showing up in a Michael Jackson jacket.
So his parents were so proud of him that he flunked 3 times. They got him a car.
Well, he also had a peach fuzz mustache, and I kind of think that sent a message to the...
So straight from there to the Berg, I guess.
Your words.
Just a shot at the Cavaliers.
Your words.
It's a shot at the
I will
Cavaliers.
distance myself. I personally am DB proud. You can text in 314-399-9646. And you can email them. We got that Design Air Heating and Cooling email today coming up in about 15, 20 minutes. Jackie Papers is off to Lambert Regional, where he will fly somehow nonstop into
Miracle.
Boston Logan.
Well, they've landed.
Is this
midnight.
charter? Is this wheels up?
Yeah, yes, fractional. They land at midnight, so not ideal. But I will take a late flight.
You land at midnight?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I'll take a late flight direct as opposed to like mid-afternoon, get in at 9 p.m. But
What time are you going to get into Cape Cod?
We'll drive there tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
We staying by Fenway?
No, staying.
Milwaukee? Is that Milwaukee way?
I don't know.
I got friends in Boston who will be going to the wedding, so we're all
bet
staying
you
at their
do.
place. Yeah. I got a couple friends in Boston.
Northeast Intellectuals.
I haven't been to Boston.
Bailed on St.
forever.
Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that part is true. They did bail.
Boston's a pretty happening town, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are you trying to say?
I can understand the bailing.
What they have, we don't.
Well,
we have a Zaxby's coming.
Yeah, 20. A bunch of them.
20 of them.
20.
Speaking of, I put up a poll on the Twitter tweets earlier.
Yeah, so I wasn't liking the results.
Asking people if they'd prefer an NBA team or a Zaxby's in St. Louis.
Oh, I got to see the results.
What do you think, Doug? What do you think the people want more, an NBA team or delicious chicken strips?
Chicken strips.
What do you think, Tim?
I would actually think probably chicken strips is winning.
Jackson?
I think the NBA is winning, but by way too thin of a margin.
307 votes. 53% want an NBA team.
How about that, Doug? Look at that. Send that to Adam Silver.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Well, we can make a strong case now for a franchise.
And I love Zaxby's. I really enjoy the taste.
Why not both?
That's what I'm saying. You can have it all.
Is a town big enough to handle both Zaxby's and the NBA? There's your poll question.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're already bursting at the seams with growth.
Right.
Hey, Papers, you flying out of Mid-America on some busted down, repossessed MD-80 jet? That's from the Warson Woods Wacko.
No, I'll be at the luxurious Lambert International Airport.
Jackson, pack a lunch tomorrow. That drive from Boston to Cape Cod sucks. It's a parking lot. That's from the Hunchback of Vaughn
We have to
Castle.
leave really early to avoid the traffic, yeah. That's what my friends have said. It's only like an hour and a half drive, but it can be a lot longer with traffic. So we're leaving super early tomorrow morning.
You're just going to get drilled when you get back and wait on a car. It's going to be like
It's like Tee.
a new recruit at Paris Island. The yelling that they give to you when you try to get your car.
What time you get back Monday night?
Late, like 9:30.
Ooh, and then you're getting up doing this nonsense the next day. Forget about it, huh?
Fired up to do it.
Wait.
I like that noise, Tim.
Yeah, that means I'm calling. I just throw my
I'll
chips
be
in.
here.
It's just
I'll be here on Tuesday.
I'm not saying you're not going to be here, but the fired up part is where I'm calling. But I'll call, see what you do on the turn.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see. Plane travel usually doesn't make me that tired. Like I get lucky in that way. But I've only taken domestic flights. I've never done an international flight. Maybe like Jamaica, but that wasn't.
I have trouble winding down after travel. Like even a flight that late, I'd come home and still stir for a while before
Not
going
me.
to sleep.
No, never. You're just sitting. Like it's you're not doing calisthenics. Like you just kind of sit there.
I think it's the air in the planes are kind of
probably.
thin.
The pressurized cabin
makes you tired.
Yeah.
Well, if you are tired on Tuesday, it
Great
could be from
call.
your travel or it could be because of low testosterone. If you're dealing with that low energy and low motivation on Tuesday, it could be from the travel, but it could be low testosterone. And that's where Mentality is going to come into play. Mentality is a local healthcare facility that specializes in helping men feel and perform at their very best, with board-certified physicians providing a full physical consultation and blood panel analysis all during your first visit. Mentality focuses on free testosterone levels, which many doctors overlook, ensuring your treatment is tailored to your body. Energy can come roaring back, belly fat can burn off, muscle can strengthen. You feel like yourself again, confident, driven, and ready to tackle life. That's Mentality. This year, stop settling for a fraction of your potential. Mentality's New Year off is your chance to take back control. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio to find out more information or even a discount at mentalityhealth.com/radio. The program's TMA. It's presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN.
TMA is brought to you by St. Louis-based Stifel, a leading wealth management and investment banking firm. Stifel is the firm where success meets success and has been since 1890. It's a historic company founded in downtown St. Louis way back in 1890. Same street the company is headquartered on today. They're not going anywhere. Proud to have called St. Louis home for 135 years now. They partner with the Cardinals and the Blues and now the Stifel Charity Classic. They also sponsor Stifel Theater. Stifel is honored to support our city, our people, and our future. With financial advisors in 12 offices across the region, Stifel helps clients right here in St. Louis and nationwide manage their hard-earned wealth. Stifel also provides banking, lending, and trust services, and has a full-service investment bank. Basically, when it comes to finance, Stifel has you covered. As one of the fastest-growing wealth management firms in the entire world, their tagline is, where success meets success. So it's no wonder they've decided to partner with a winning program like this one right here. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
da dee ba da ba da 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 ba dee.
So did you ask for the red jacket as like a birthday present?
Well, I think the
Christmas
thing
gift?
that might have caused the problem is I asked for the jacket from Beat It, but I got the jacket from Thriller. And there's a part of me that believes, had I shown up in the Beat It jacket, why I would have been the toast of the town.
It would have been a different story.
Yeah, those zippers.
Instead,
Right. Okay, so the Beat It jacket's the one with all the zippers and stuff?
I
thought that was the Thriller jacket.
Nice show prep ass.
The Thriller jacket looks like something like Deadpool would wear. It's not the Thriller jacket's not as cool.
Thank you. So the kids at St. Gabriel's would have been more receptive to me had I come in the Beat It jacket.
No, I think they would have treated you worse.
Oh!
Well, the Beat It, you could, like, the Thriller jacket, you'd be like, oh, I didn't even know this was a Thriller jacket. But the Beat It jacket with all the zippers and...
Yeah, but what if I would have had the glove?
accoutrement, that'd been really cool.
I don't think it should have mattered what jacket you had on.
Well, he had the red one on. And as I understand it, you moonwalked onto the playground with all those schoolyard toughs, and they weren't hearing of it. They were not impressed at all.
That part is as accurate as it gets.
Did the girls like it? Did they pay attention?
No, I was an incel.
Before it was in vogue.
before it became the business model for social media.
Yeah, for real.
Cardinal lineup is out, Doug. Mason Wynn will be leading off and playing shortstop. Herrera. And he's catching, too. He's not just, like, showing up. He's catching. No Donovan today. Probably be a Game 2 start. I would kind of prefer to see him in both, but I guess maybe they're managing that toe situation. Alec Burleson is hitting third, DH. Contreras is at first, cleanup. Gorman is hitting fifth behind Contreras at second. Arenado is sixth at third. Lars Nootbaar is now at seventh and playing left. Jordan Walker and right. Victor Scott ninth and center. There is your Cardinal lineup for Game 1.
Okay.
Nolan Gorman got his eye back.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope he does.
Doug, let's get to today, okay? And let's get a buzz in the ballpark next week for the 4-game series with the Cubs. And
They
then,
need it.
And then why the next week the Cardinals go up there for a 4th of July celebration in Chi-Town.
Always making the B-Fib happy.
The Beef would be very happy with a sweep today. And I think unhappy with a split. And tragically suicidal if they get swept.
Goodness. That is coming your way here this afternoon. Let's play 2 on the South Side Cardinals and Reds this weekend. Then the 4-game series with the Cubs. Win, Doug, 4 of the next 5. And you got a buzzing ballpark for the Cardinals and Cubs next week. No rain in the forecast. Hotter than the fires of hell. But it'll be Cardinals-Cubs first time this year in late June. Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today coming up next. CMA 101 ESPN.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Wandoff Chevrolet and Johnny Wandoff Autoplex. Cardinals playing 2 today on the south side of Chicago against the White Sox. First game, Eric Fetty is going to be on the mound for the Cardinals at 1:10 p.m. And the second game is going to start around 4:40 p.m. with Michael McGreevy on the mound for the Cardinals. That was another Sports Center update driven by Johnny Wandoff Chevrolet and Johnny Wandoff Autoplex. See them at wandoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Well, Doug, there's nothing you can do. Jackson's leaving.
I'll miss you, fellas.
Okay. Well, travel safely.
Hey, thanks, Doug.
Good luck to you.
You going to be streaming in the morning?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I might, for a moment, tune in just to see if everything's going well. I'm sure you guys will be fine.
How about that, Doug? Little pat on the back.
I think we'll be okay.
What a confidence. It's time for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. When the bleep hits the fan, some men run and some men stay. And here's Cucky the Dwarf facing a fire. And there's Jared Reynolds hiding behind Big Timmy's pocket. And what are you going to do? You're going to reward Jake and destroy Cucky. Out of order? I'll show you out of order. You don't know what out of order is, pal. I'd show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. And Pestis is too blind. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to that inbox. I've seen emailers like these, younger than these. Their emails filtered out, discarded, ignored. But there's nothing like the sight of an amputated spirit. And there is no prosthetic for that. You think you're merely filtering out these splendid foot soldiers emailers, but I say you are executing their souls. And why? Because he's not a 101 man? 101 men? You hurt this boy, and you'll be 101 bums, the lot of you. You hold this email's future in your hands, committee. It's a valuable email. Don't destroy. Protect it. Embrace it. It's from the Marlins Family Barbecue, sent from Marcus Theater, screen 16, row G, seat 11, with beer farts.
Marlins Family Barbecue. I didn't like him taking a shot at Pestis.
Hey, boys. It's been a few years since I last emailed, but I find myself in a quandary. I'm trying to figure out how much information I should be sharing with my wife about my guy time. I recently consented to sharing my location with the little lady, but she seems to check up on me only when I'm in some compromising positions. Monday at 2:42 p.m., she tracks me to my friend John's house while I'm helping him get some dirt out of his muffler. Tuesday, 3:03 p.m., she tracks me to my friend Brandon's house while we're having a totally hetero and innocuous tickle fight. Yesterday at 4:15 p.m., she tracks me to my friend Mark's house, where he and I are just doing a couple loads of our soiled laundry together whilst watching some of our favorite workout videos.
Don't say soiled.
Like I said, it's all totally innocuous stuff, and I'm just hanging with the boys, but my wife suspects that I enjoy the company of men. How can I convince her otherwise? Should I stop staring at John's love when he comes over?
No.
I guess I'm just wondering if I should let my wife keep tracking me. I wish the trust was there, but I would appreciate your advice on how to handle the situation. Thank you in advance for your sage wisdom. That's from Waldo in U City.
Waldo in U City.
I love hearing Jackson every day, and we'll miss him the next 2 shows. That is why I hope his commute from Logan to Cape Cod is stuck behind a couple of cyclists the entire way. Just a friendly reminder that it is best to just stay local and do TMA. That's from Shooter McGavin, the Vice President of Marketing for White Walls.
Shooter McGavin. Stay local.
And finally, morning, gents. Love the show today. Started at 7 on the YouTube chats. Last hour in the car on the way to Springfield. Really loved the BBL talk. I'm thinking about taking some fat out of my belly and putting it into Jake Jr. Really hoping.
What does that mean?
I think it. You know what? Never mind.
Jay Jr.?
No, I think
Says Jake.
it's reference to his member.
Oh.
Really hoping Jax has a great trip to Cape Cod. Watch out for Jaws up there. Jax doesn't like great whites.
True.
Tim, really missed the beard, but love you anyway because you're so damn smart. If we were to get an NBA team, I wonder what the mascot would be. Have Jax write up the business case and send it to Silver. Can't wait for too long. Got to focus on the drive. Got big money to spend at Bass Pro Shops in Silver Dollar City. Doug, I'll try to find you a new swimsuit and some fishing tackle. Toodles. That's Jake in St. Genevieve.
Jake in St. Genevieve.
And Doug, that's what we have for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Even though I did not like him taking a shot at Pestis, I'm going to vote for the Marlins Family Barbecue.
You know what? I'm going to miss Jackson the next 2 shows, too. I'm going with Shooter McGavin.
Thank you, Chairman, but it is Marlins Family Barbecue.
Marlins Family Barbecue has won the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. Safe travels to Jackie Papers.
Thank you, brother.
We will be back tomorrow for TMA's Friday edition. For Jackson Burkett, for Chairman Kurt, for Martin Kilcoyne, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn, and to McKernan. This has been TMA, presented by Brian Crouppen at 101 ESPN.